straight shooter, coulda muta baruka. Gonna keep on the future, influence with them under. Step on them corner when they smoke marijuana. Gunshots sing like Yama, don't think them no afraid. Babylon, you need them case, make them body look pretty. Pull up them face, a cap a shot like Dicky. Never rat race, even not go giant any. But tune to your ears, you not have to pay a penny. Too much life waste, many. Me I tell the road why them say me heading out, but I'm ready to die. Down in the ghetto, a Babylon say them don't die. And no gunshot a echo, no gun a red down there.
CAR Caribbean Auto Resource, located at 5270 B North State Road 7 in the city of North Lauderdale. We have a program built for tax time. Our program includes 500 minimum down payment, cash or trading. Qualifies after 30 days on the job. 1,600 minimum income. Units up to 13-year-old. Mileage up to 150,000. Yes, everyone's approved. That's Caribbean Auto Resource. Once again located at 5270 B North State Road 7 in the city of North Lauderdale. You can contact us by phone at 954-399-3787 or 954-557-9907. Don't forget about our referral program. Refer a friend and earn from $50 up to $200. Yes, it's true. I ask these questions a lot of times, so if you have been wondering, yes, we finance people who don't have a driver's license. Beacon score does not matter. One of my dealer closed a deal on the 383 Beacon. Good credit, bad credit, any credit, you're approved. Don't ask me how they do it, just know that it's done. It's Caribbean Auto Resource. Call them today and you'll be driving in minutes. It's time to stop dreaming and start driving.
Out of my dreams, into my car, forever and ever.
See them lost, lost in illusion.
Stand together, police them done the war, them a push it further. We don't know who they are and them we never heard of. But tonight, no fuss or fight. Let's get together and all unite. Oh my, Jenny love me and hear me forever.
And give honor and glory unto He that is mighty. Just now send us your love, oh child, your mercy and your grace. Send us your love.
Young jiggy, 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 jiggy. Young jiggy, 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 jiggy. Myself is young jiggy, jiggy, jiggy. Yes, where you gone, gone.
To be praised, for He's the Almighty Creator and the King of Glory.
Hi, I'm Nigel Blair, studio host for FLEXX FM Sports, coverage of CASA, Caribbean Americas Soccer Association League. Don't forget to subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and to be sure to tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on FLEXX FM Sports for live coverage of all matches.
And find our freedom. For He's the Almighty.
It's time for Caribbean News, covering current events from around the world, regionally and locally, with Sean Garrity on this station. It's news that the Caribbean can use. And now, the details. Vicky Cartwright becomes Broward School District's first female superintendent. Dr. Vicky Cartwright has been selected as Broward County Public Schools full-time superintendent, making history as the first woman to lead the nation's sixth largest school district. Last week, the school board voted 8-1 to elevate the interim superintendent, who has led the district since last summer. She officially replaces Jamaican-born Robert Runcie, who stepped down last spring after a perjury charge. The board chose Cartwright over Michael Gall, a former Air Force flight instructor. He also served as Deputy Chancellor of DC Public Schools, Chief of Staff for the Oakland Unified School District, and in leadership positions for Education Achievement Authority of Michigan. While school board members said they were impressed with Gall, Cartwright had the advantage of already leading the district for the last few months. Broward Teachers Union President Anna Fusco said she fully supports Dr. Cartwright as a leader of the district, given the work that she has done so far. Scotiabank responds. $1.7 million transfer mix-up, a result of incorrect transit code. The Bank of Nova Scotia, or BNS, is denying a nationwide news report indicating that customers have identical account numbers, which led to the incorrect transfer of more than $1 million. Philip Foote had accused Scotiabank of incorrectly dispersing the sums of the incorrect account at its Halfway Tree branch, despite being meant for the Scotia Centre in downtown Kingston. Scotia's Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications, Yannick Forbes-Patrick, says the matter turns on the absence of the transit code and not a duplicated account number. Mr. Foote has maintained he recorded the correct recipient name and account number, but the wrong branch. The bank's vice president says the system submitted the information to the Halfway Tree branch based on Mr. Foote's RTGS form. They say this is not unique to Scotiabank.
Same for every bank in Jamaica, every single time. The thing is, millions of transfers are done this way on a regular basis, but you have to have the information correct for the system to work.
Yannick Forbes-Patrick, Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications at Scotiabank. In entertainment, Jamaicans fume over Kingsley Ben Adir's casting as Bob Marley in upcoming biopic. Like some of their African-American counterparts did in 2020 when British actor Kingsley Ben Adir was handpicked to play the roles of Barack Obama and Malcolm X, Jamaicans are upset that the British actor has been similarly picked to play the role of reggae icon Bob Marley in an upcoming Paramount Pictures biopic. Among the central bones of contention are that Bob would not want a fake Rasta wearing a wig or extensions representing him, that one of his many sons or grandsons ought to have been selected, including his son Kimani Marley, who had said that playing the role of Bob was his dream. In addition, reggae lovers are contending that as a foreigner, no matter how hard he tries, Ben Adir will not be able to effectively portray the nuances and mannerisms of Jamaicans, and that there are a plethora of competent Jamaican actors who could play the legend. Worse yet, they argue that Ben Adir, son of white English father, and a mother whose parents were from Trinidad and Tobago, will not be able to master the patois language and would sound comical, as has been the case with the long list of acclaimed foreign actors who attempted to play roles as Jamaicans. In business, Under Armour orders drop due to supply chain woes. Under Armour on Friday warned that higher transportation costs would squeeze its earnings in the current quarter, as the sportswear maker wrestles with COVID-19-led disruptions to its supply chain. Lisa Bernhard produced this report.
Under Armour on Friday joined the chorus of companies lamenting supply chain issues, warning that higher transportation costs would squeeze its earnings in the current quarter. Shares were down roughly 10% in midday trading after the athletic wear company flagged reductions to its spring and summer orders. Product availability has been a concern for Under Armour and its rivals Lululemon Athletica and Nike, as Asian factories that make their clothing are only just recovering from COVID-19 outbreaks and employee shortages. On an earnings call Friday, Under Armour's chief financial officer said the company expects supply issues to continue well into fiscal 2023. The company has been forced to use pricier air freight due to port congestion as it strives to stock its shelves, with demand for athletic wear still strong. Like many companies, it's raised prices of its products to cover higher costs across supply chains, from labor to raw materials. The silver lining was that those higher prices, along with robust demand, did help Under Armour post better than expected results for its critical holiday quarter.
And in sports, 13 Windies players selected in IPL auction. Jamaica's trio, Odin Smith, Rovnan Powell, and Fabian Allen were among 13 West Indies players picked up during the two-day Indian Premier League or IPL auction. Smith went to the Punjab Kings for almost $800,000 US, and Allen will be playing his trade for almost $100,000 US with the Mumbai Indians. The other West Indians that received contracts are Nicholas Pooran, Jason Holder, Dwayne Bravo, Shimron Hetmeyer, Dominic Drakes, Evan Lewis, Sherfane Rutherford, Romario Shepherd, Azari Joseph, and Kyle Myers. Pooran was the most expensive. He went to the Sunrisers Hyderabad franchise for $1.43 million US. And your Palm Beach weather, mostly cloudy with a high near 73, with winds coming at the east from 16 to 21 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. Then at night, mostly cloudy with a low around 65 degrees, windy with an east wind around 21 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. And down in Fort Lauderdale, mostly cloudy with a high near 74, windy with an east wind 17 to 21 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. Then at night, becoming mostly cloudy with a low around 67 degrees. Breezy with an east wind 18 to 20 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 26 miles per hour. And that was the news, entertainment, and sports with Sean Garrity. Be sure to stay tuned to this station for more news from around the world, locally, and the Caribbean.
Hi Flexers, welcome to Lunch with TC, The Naked Truth, right here on FlexFM.online. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m. Don't forget, it's The Naked Truth Talk Show, the show that brings the truth to the front line.
Vaccine, now your back arching, the syringe gone in. Vaccine, I get a vaccine. Vaccine, I get a vaccine. Vaccine, come for your vaccine, now your back arching, the syringe gone in. Vaccine.
I me say family. Sure. If I want it, me hate a fern killer. Me no believe in a fern killer. Family. I me say family.
This is Nigel Blair from BMG Tax and Accounting Services. Whether you're a small business owner, a manager at a medium-sized corporation, or a self-employed freelancer, the team at BMG Tax and Accounting Services is here for you. We offer comprehensive bookkeeping and tax services designed to keep your finances in check. Keeping track of your finances takes a fair amount of time, energy, and patience, and you probably have a lot of other things on your plate. So don't struggle to keep up with all that number crunching and paperwork. Our bookkeeping services are designed to make your life easier so you can focus on what you do best. At BMG, we're dedicated to client satisfaction, and we're prepared to go the extra miles to earn your business and trust. We pride ourselves on attention to detail in all that we do, and we're ready to put our skills and knowledge to work for you. For more information about our services or to schedule a consultation,
you're like a circle that floats around me. keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in the palm. You are a statement, explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me win. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. You cut me loose and set me free. You make me win every way. You showed me how to spread my wings. Yes, I'm the winner of the day. Yes, I'm the winner.
The following program contains language and scenes that some viewers might find objectionable. Discretion in viewing is advised.
World Premiere Wednesdays. World Premiere.
This is a tribute to Sister Rita Marley. Oh, ja, ja. Ja, 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 ja. Rastafari knows everything. I pray. Aja. Ooh, yes. Aja, ja. Yes, the higher man knows everything. I pray. Aja. Ooh, yes. Aja, ja. Forces will fight, will be defeated. Black man unite, too long separated. Walk into light and do Jah will now. Just shining light, prophecy fulfill, yeah. To each his own. To each his own, to everything there is a season. Rastafari knows everything. My bread, Aja, ooh, yes, Aja, ja. Yes, the higher man knows everything. My bread, Aja, ooh, yes, Aja, ja. Evil eyes, they penetrate high. Oh, bad looks, don't mean you hate high. Slippery road,
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Liz Tomlinson, a Jaja, for real. Every time I tend to carry my hair like this, you know, the staff here would say that I look like Trevor Noah. We're going to leave it right there. For real. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see behind me, we're celebrating Reggae Month, of course, Black History Month. And I know that there's an agenda out there. No, real talk. There is an agenda out there, ladies and gentlemen, to cancel Black History Month. But they're doing it a very subtle way. Yes, we're speaking. It's the naked truth. We're speaking it. There's an agenda out there to cancel Black History Month. Let's not discuss Black history. Let's not remind nobody or point a finger at anyone of what their ancestors done to your ancestors. It's been and gone. Just forget it and move on. As simple as that. Just forget it and move on. All I'm asking you to do is to put the shoe on your feet, brother. Brothers and sisters, just put the shoes on your feet and tell me how it fit. Come on, say that get con. To hold that to that squeeze somehow. Someone who couldn't deal with it. Who couldn't live through it. Who that never let us live it down. Here's why I know you guys would have never let us as black people live it down. And here's how simple it is. One, if you notice, you guys have all the wealth. You guys have all the resources. You guys have, we don't even have anything called majority. You call us minority, but yet still, we are still your problem. You have all the wealth, you know. You have all the wealth of the world, all the oil, all every resources there is. The gas, the oil, the diamond, gold, you have everything. But yet still, we are still your problem. Ladies and gentlemen, we're celebrating this month by any means necessary. Yes, we are. And when I say that we're celebrating this month by any means necessary, meaning if we have to rearrange the program here to suit this month, we're doing it. It should have been 365 days of the year. I am not going to settle for 28 days. You may, I won't. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to be settling for just 28 days. I am going for 365, 366 when it's a leap year. Are you with me? With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I want to say hi to Jonah Marie. Mad love and respect. It's always good to have this face here in the place, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to know I have a very special guest live inside the studios. He's actually in the green room right now, you know, getting himself together, because honestly, for me, it's more than a pleasure. It is. It is more than a pleasure for me, ladies and gentlemen, to have this person, this individual, this being, this fine specimen to join me on this show today. Why? Because oftentimes as a youth growing up, I can always remember some elders in the community saying, "Oh, a young youth like you know them tune." And you know why? It's because of me hanging out with not my peers, but the older folks, and getting the knowledge from the older folks. Hence why, if you ask me anything about John Holt, you ask me anything about Ken Booth, Alton Ellis, you name them, I can tell you things about them like they and I have actually spar. Like we have hung out, like, you know, we are bosom buddies. And it's about, it's a two different elder era we know. The elders them today different from the elders them yesterday now. It's two different era, you know, elders, you know. Because when you touch 50 now, them say you're elder. But the 50-year-old man them today have a whole different mindset than the man them were 60 and over. I am telling you, the 15 years make a huge difference. And my education, my street knowledge, come from hanging out with the elders them in my community. Never yet once I can see an elder passing by and down say, "Good morning, Mr." Me have to address you right too. Mr. and by your last name. I cannot address you by your first name. I cannot be doing something that is not in the sight of an elder or approve of an elder and still doing it while the elder passing by. I have to address myself up properly. Coming from school, if I feel like I'm big now, and my shirt out of my pants, so I know the elder them down the street, I stop here and tuck in my shirt first before I pass the elder them. Different era we are living in now. Ladies and gentlemen, I have grown with that notion. Those are the principles that I have grown with. Those are the same principles I'm trying to instill in my sons and daughters. I try to reach the masses daily here for just 2 hours and try to instill the same in you. Now, who have ears, let them ears, and who have eyes, they can always see. When we come as natural as can be. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a quick break and introduce to you my special guest today, someone with a wealth of knowledge. That if knowledge was money, this money would be like Wells Fargo and Bank of America. I'm telling you. Keep it locked. We'll be right back with my special guest. All right? It's FLEXX FM.
Skank jiggy 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 jiggy. Skank jiggy 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 jiggy. Me say fi skank jiggy jiggy jiggy. Yesterday world where you gone, gone, gone.
CAR Caribbean Auto Resource, located at 5270B North State Road 7 in the city of North Lauderdale. We have a program built for tax time. Our program includes $500 minimum down payment, cash or trade-in. Qualifies after 30 days on the job. $1,600 minimum income. Units up to 13-year-old. Mileage up to 150,000. Yes, everyone's approved. That's Caribbean Auto Resource. Once again located at 5270B North State Road 7 in the city of North Lauderdale. You can contact us by phone at 954-399-3787 or 954-557-9907. Don't forget about our referral program. Refer a friend and earn from $50 up to $200. Yes, it's true. I ask these questions a lot of times, so if you have been wondering, yes, we finance people who don't have a driver's license. Beacon score does not matter. One of my dealers closed a deal on the 383 Beacon. Good credit, bad credit, any credit, you're approved. Don't ask me how they do it. Just know that it's done. It's Caribbean Auto Resource. Call them today and you'll be driving in minutes. It's time to stop dreaming and start driving.
Out of my dreams. Get into my car.
Hi, I'm Nigel Blair, studio host for FLEXX FM Sports, coverage of CASA, Caribbean America's Soccer Association League. Don't forget to subscribe to watch highlights all season long and to be sure to tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on FLEXX FM Sports for live coverage of all matches. Yes, it's that time of year. It's tax time. Do you know where to get your taxes done? Don't worry. Blair's Management Tax and Accounting Services is the place for you. This is Nigel Blair. With over 26 years of experience in the tax and accounting field, we have what it takes to prepare your taxes the right way and to make sure you take advantages of all your tax deduction and all your tax credits and get you back the maximum amount of refunds possible. So don't delay. Call us today at 954-934-5700. That's 954-934-5700.
them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion.
Hi Flexers, welcome to Lunch with TC, The Naked Truth, right here on FlexFM.online. Weekdays, Monday through Friday, between the hours of 12 and 2 p.m. Don't forget, it's The Naked Truth Talk Show, the show that brings the truth to the front line.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lunch with TC, The Naked Truth. It's Reggae Month, Black History Month, and of course, what better way to celebrate it than have an icon in the building with us, somebody who actually know the business from day one. Mr. Lindsay, welcome to Lunch with TC.
Nice, and thanks for having me. Thanks for having me here. It's a pleasure. Listening to the introduction just now, I was wondering, who were you talking about?
No, it's have to be the great. Listen, if I am doing anything outside and you are in the present, well, I have to dress myself up. You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of respect I have for someone like you in the business. I remember migrating to New York when I left Jamaica.
You came first to New York?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
And I hear about this Mr. Lindsay. And I'm saying that this man must be the founder of the Music Federation.
Not quite.
And then I'm listening and I'm saying, like, you know, you are like like in Jamaica at the time we had Bar Garden.
Barry G.
And you are the Bar Garden in New York City.
And we had a relationship at the time.
Yes.
Because we would say he represents Jamaica
yes.
and I would represent New York.
That is so true.
We had a very, very good relationship. Many of the shows I've done in those days,
yes,
I would bring him up as MC.
Wow, look at that. You don't really find that much unity today, you know?
No.
You don't.
No.
Mr. Lindsay, walk us through the journey of Mr. Young Lindsay, the day when you decide that I'm going to take this road. What happened? What bit you?
In terms of being on radio?
Yeah, in terms of being involved in the music.
As a kid, like most kids, my people used to, you know, the radio with the tube.
Oh, the tube.
And you turn it up, and you have to, the tube lights up after about 30 seconds.
Yes.
And I was looking in the back, where are those people? I mean, we all went through that back in those days. Can you hear these guys?
The voice coming through the box.
And I'm looking, and I remember one time, during the day, they used to have a program on JBC called Pot of Gold.
Pot of Gold.
And they used to read greetings.
You know, that was before my time, though.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I can imagine. and they used to read greetings. And
yes.
the guy used to say, you know, greetings to my mother in St. Mary and my aunt. And then the next letter I was reading, I didn't know it was letter then.
Right.
He would be reading to my mother in Hanover, in Trelawney. And I'm like,
okay.
How many mothers this brother I have? You know?
Kind of dying today.
And I used to listen to people like Desmond Chambers.
Yes.
Radcliffe Butler.
I saw a video. We're doing this series for Black History, and they're doing the history like BBC went to Jamaica and they cover some and make a documentary.
Yes.
And Radcliffe was in it.
It was one of the best
yes.
voices. Winston Williams, Jeff Barnes.
Yes.
Those are people I used to listen to. And I decided from that young age that maybe about 10.
Yeah.
That's what I knew I didn't want to be a carpenter, a mechanic.
Which they were a prominent occupation back then.
And they were.
Yes.
They were. But for some reason, my grandmother used to sing in the church.
Yeah.
I love to sing, but I can't. So I figured if I'll find my way in the industry
yes.
without being able to sing. And radio is where I found that.
You got that opportunity when in Jamaica or when you migrated?
When I came here, I already have it in the back of my mind.
Yes.
When I came here at age 17,
wow.
My grandmother took me all over the place to get me to work, mechanics and...
Still trying to get you in that.
I remember the day she took me down, I think it was like 14th Street.
Yes.
And there was a mechanic that used to advertise, you know, on radio.
On the radio.
Radio. And when we went there, this guy took me all over the place, under the car and all that grease, and I'm like, I'm just looking, okay. And then he showed me my tool pan.
Yes.
If I sign up, this is my my tool
This would
pad.
be your tool
Yeah.
pad.
And I'm like, okay. So anyhow, so he gave my grandmother the brochure and
Okay.
and when we were coming out, she said to me, "You're not interested in it, are you?" I
She
said,
could have seen that.
She could see that. And then I started going to radio school, New York School of Broadcasting.
Okay.
And I went there it was a 6 weeks course.
Yes.
And one evening I was coming home and a friend across the street saw me and said, well, we were talking and he asked me what I was doing. And I told him I'm coming from the school. He said, why don't you go to college? The college he was going to was New York Institute of Technology.
Okay.
And it would help me to get in because they teach radio from A to Z.
Oh, okay.
And the vocational school is like a 6 weeks.
Oh, 6 week course.
Yes.
So they cramped everything in.
Not everything, because they just teach you to speak.
Yes.
With going to a 4-year college now, you get it from A to Z.
To Z,
how
right.
to write commercials, how to do everything.
Yes.
And I told him, my grandmother can't afford it. He said he will help me to get the loans
Right.
and this and all those things. And in the fall, September 1976, I entered.
1976.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
I started New York Institute of Technology. And by the October, I was on the radio station because they have a radio.
Yes.
And a TV station.
From the college?
At the college.
Oh, yes. That was big back then.
Yes, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Most colleges used to have their own little thing that supply their surrounding area.
And, when you talk about hands-on experience, seriously.
Yes.
Because I entered the radio station in October.
Yes.
And by the November, they had the Jimmy Carter Convention Center at Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
And I was part of that team representing the
Presenting
station.
the school.
And there were only 2 blacks on the
What?
station.
At that time?
At the time. Myself, I covered the Caribbean and
Yes.
African affairs.
Okay.
And the other black guy was Dr. Bob Lee.
Dr. Bob Lee.
Yeah, he covered the African American affairs. And both of us ended up big time in radio because he joined WBLS.
Oh.
And he's still at WBLS now.
What?
So we were the only 2 blacks.
Yes.
At the time for about maybe 2 years. And, I wanted to learn so much. I applied for everything that the station and the newspaper. I was the entertainment editor for the school newspaper,
Yes.
Scope. And they would send me off Broadway to review shows.
Wow.
Yeah, so I did it all. I
lots of experience.
4 years of that, and I again won several awards doing that.
Wow.
I started the compiling charts while I was there, and when I graduated, I just continued started at WHBI, and then it just took off from there.
Mm-hmm. You become the signature name for the Caribbean community.
One of them.
One of
At
that time.
At that time, yes.
Yes.
And the part about the promotional part of it, a friend of mine at the time, one of my first sponsors on my radio
On your radio
program,
show, right.
He was a promoter back in the 70s and late 60s. So he called me one day, his name is George Bread.
George Bread.
Yes, and he always called me college boy. Hey, college boy, come here. So he was doing a show with Yellow Man and Little John.
Yes.
So he called me over to his house to fill out the immigration form for him. And I went over, filled out the form, and we were living uptown Bronx.
Yes.
And we had to go all the way down to One Federal Plaza in Manhattan.
That's in Manhattan.
That's where the
immigration
and all.
Yes.
Yeah, One Federal Plaza. So I went down there, took the train all the way down, because it doesn't make sense to drive. Cause
right. Oh,
no
no.
parking.
is going to
And
be...
if you do get a park,
The price for the parking.
So it's easier to jump on the train.
Right.
And just go down. So I went down, went into the office, put the application in the basket. When the lady got to mine, she called out the name, whatever the name he was using. And I went up, she said, we don't use this form anymore. So where do you get this? This is like 3 years old. So she said, you know, fill it out, gave me the new form.
Yes.
Fill it out and bring it back. And I'm like, my God, I have to go back to Uptown Bronx?
And then come
And
back again.
It's
It's a lot of commute.
Yeah. So I fill it out, and then where he's supposed to sign,
Yeah.
I signed my name.
Oh,
as
wow.
president. Yeah. So when I took it up, so they took it, got the permit approved.
Yes.
And I went back to him and I told him what I did. He said, oh no, fine. As a matter of fact, I was gonna send it to Jamaica to get them.
What?
Yeah, he planned to send me to Jamaica to get them. So I went down. And Yellow Man already had a work permit.
Yes.
And the other guy was Tony Tuff.
Tony Tuff.
Yes.
That's another artist.
Yes, Tony Tuff.
Yeah.
And the third one was Little John. Little John was 15.
Wow. Real Little John.
Little John. And you know, when I took him in, and they was giving him a hard time.
Yeah.
They said that he didn't know where it was going. And then I went back to the officer, the consul general, and I said, listen, we spend a lot of money to get this guy here, and you just gotta refuse him because he can't identify the barrow or whatever. I said, no.
And that was his first time here.
That
right?
was his first time. I said, he's a kid. You know, he knows he's going to New York and he's going to the Bronx.
Yeah.
But you ask him the address of the club. You know, who knows that?
Right.
Anyway, so the man said, no, next time, and took back his passport and told me to that I could come back and pick up the visa. And that's where it started. But it deeper than that, because when I first met Little John at the time had like 3 big songs on the chart.
Yes. At 15.
At 15. Say What You're Saying.
Yes.
Girls Across the Ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the third one. So I was telling him that, you know, first of all, when I went down, I was expecting, you know, someone. In my world in America, you have 3 songs, you live life.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah, you have it.
You probably pull up beside me in our Benz.
That's exactly what I was expecting. When I saw this kid, I'm like, something ain't right. So I said to him, you know, you have 3 songs on the chart? He said, what 3 songs? So I told him the 3 songs.
Yes.
But he didn't recognize Girls Across the Ocean.
Right.
So I started to sing it for him. And I said, oh, Sailing Boat or something like that.
Boat.
So I say, you don't know it as Girls Across the Ocean? He said, no, man, I don't have no tune name, sir. I said, no, something ain't right.
Producer shift the name around.
You know it.
Yes.
And I had to be singing the song to him.
For him to
recognize the song.
They shift the name around, man.
Yeah.
So you know all that is coming to the producer.
Yes. So I said, you know, you have an album up there. He said, album? I said, you have an album. You sit on this wall, this yard and this wall. You remember the album? He said, no, man. Like he would say, FLEXX asked me for a picture and go get him a picture and that's it.
Man.
I said, no, it's an album, my friend. And he said, what? And that moment, I made a commitment that these youngsters need help.
Yes. And that's when you start to be more proactive now around the young one's career.
Yes.
Because it's only fair that you are credited for one of the persons that brought a lot of acts.
Yes, it was deliberate.
Here.
It was deliberate. It was deliberate because of what I saw.
Yes.
And I figure with my little knowledge of the business, I could help them to.
Right.
One of the things they keep telling me to this day is, why, because of you, Wolf, baby mother, eat food and children.
True.
Now these guys would just be in Jamaica. In those days, it's only the Jimmy Cliff and the Third World and the Bob Marley. You could see the Mighty Diamonds. Nobody was paying attention to
the Little John and the Admiral Tibet and those guys.
There you go, the Peter Metro. After Little John, my first package was...
This is your personal package now?
My personal package.
Okay.
After Little John, and I brought him up and I made the commitment that I'm going to work with them.
Yes.
My first package, 1983, Burro Banton, Peter Metro.
Yes.
Lady Anne.
Yes.
Philip Fraser.
Wow. That's a huge
Madu,
package. Yeah, you, Madu.
No, that's the younger brother, Madu.
Oh, the older brother.
Yes, yeah, Madu. And John Wayne.
John Wayne.
Yes. That was my first package.
My goodness.
Oh Lord.
That was a hefty part.
Yes.
Hey, looking at that, one will try to jack you up and say, this money have money, Because that's a big package.
That's a big package. But in those days, people knew because they weren't big names.
Yes.
Like at the time, the biggest DJ at the time was Yellow Man.
Right.
And then Ika Mouse have that big tune there.
What of them?
And Michigan and Smiley.
Yes.
They were just the big names in terms of DJs.
In terms of the new era of dancehall. This is when we're coming merging over to dancehall now.
Yes. We had, the biggest name out of that bunch was really Peter Metro.
Peter Metro. A lot of people don't even know that. And you know the funniest thing, Mr. Lindsay? He's probably one of the poorest DJ out of the bunch.
He is so good.
And just because of exactly what you saw happen to Little John, it's the same thing happened to
all
Peter
of them.
Metro.
The thing is, I tell you this, TC, when they come to New York, there are two places, the two first places every single DJ want to go. Number one is Times Square.
Times Square.
You know about this Times Square.
Everybody hear about Times Square.
Times Square and Moody's Records.
In the Bronx. Right.
Moody's Records.
Legendary Records.
Because they have heard.
Yes.
A friend might have told them they have an album.
Right.
And they have never seen the album.
Oh, wow.
So
that's where they go to actually get. Wow.
I have seen artists with tears coming down, seeing their album for the first time. Never knew, and the producer is like best of friends.
Wow.
I won't call the names, but I've seen.
I know.
Because when I took them to Moody's, I just watched to see the reaction. And I remember one say, John O'Star. You could see hurt in the artist because he never knew he had an album. As a matter of fact, he had 2 albums at the time.
Mr. Lindsay, one of my thing is growing up and used to go to the studio back home because I was involved as a tender age and following my peers to the recording studios. And I used to see the producers, them look more flourishing than the artists that's doing the work.
Of course. Because what happens, you do a tune, you get a $300, and I'm talking back.
But then,
so whatever you get
nice
now,
money back then.
That's it. That's what you're gonna get for, unless you have a
representation.
You have a producer that has a heart.
Oh, okay.
And even when an artist becomes a producer, they turn around and do the same thing.
The same thing too.
Even though they know what it's like to be an artist and not getting compensation.
You think that's a disease?
It is
Infectious
because
disease.
you have a track or you have tracks or songs. You fly to England, you give it to Greensleeve.
Yes.
You collect all the money and then you come back to Jamaica, you tell the singer, boy, I not get nothing, all right, but see £100 here when you collect £50,000.
Wow. Man,
that's exploitative industry. Very, very. Now it's getting better because you have
a lot of independent thing going on.
You have the copyright laws in effect and all of that. And if you ever notice, when a Jamaican song hits big internationally, there's always lawsuits.
Yes.
Because everybody now claim I me to play the bass, I me play the drum, I my line this, but you'll never see it when it's otherwise because there's not enough money there to claim for anybody.
Right. But now, in your knowledge, you have seen where that whole entertainment bill, that a percentage go to each person who take part, the writer, the composer.
No.
Yeah.
Because now it's before, more regulated now.
Yes. Before, I have 45 an album now where I see the producer as the writer, the producer as the engineer, the producer as everything, just one name.
Yes. And there are few producers, especially Clement Dodd. He's famous for that.
Yes.
Very, very famous for it. When you see the name Scorcher.
Yes.
That is to throw off the American
copyright
composers and copyright
thing.
Or they put adapted.
Yes.
You see that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's when a song is covered, right?
When it's covered, yes.
Right.
But they don't want to give, you most of the times the American writer is not gonna pursue.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough money. To get
it probably costs more.
More, yeah, because you get a lawyer,
you get a lawyer
retainer,
and
10 grand US.
Yes.
And you gotta end up with something that not even gonna get you 1,000 US. It doesn't make sense.
Financially, it doesn't make sense to go.
This is why when a song blows up,
yeah.
If you remember, let's say Someone Loves You, Honey.
Yes.
That was a big international song.
Right.
Joe Gibbs got in trouble for it because he claimed to be the writer.
Yes.
So this is why I said to artists today, do the right thing initially, because you just don't know which song is gonna blow up.
True.
And you're gonna lose more.
Yes.
If it blows up. If you do the right thing and put the person's name.
Yes.
The publishing company will just come in and take theirs.
Right.
But if they have to sue you, they're gonna win and you have to pay their legal fees.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you have to pay their
I'm learning as I go along.
Yeah.
I see where today artists like, for example, Flower Gun did a lawsuit with Miley Cyrus.
Yes.
And she used a couple lines from his song,
Yes.
We Run Things.
Yes.
And 300 million US.
Yes.
He was
a
rewarded
portion of that
in a
he
lawsuit.
was awarded, yes. But
right.
Yes.
That's overall settlement.
Yes.
But we know a proceed going to
by the time the lawyers and all
everybody get for them. Right. So we have seen the shift now.
Yes.
Where normally it would be the other way around.
And normally it would be the other. And it's to me, and some people say, Mr. Lindsay, it's kind of unfair because we've been ripping off these people for years. That's how our industry started.
Right, by covering.
Yes, because you look at, I'll give you a fine example, Dreamland by Bunny Wailer.
It was Bunny Wailer who did it originally?
Hell no. How did he get away with it? Again, the original composers just didn't see, and for years, 50 odd years, Bunny Wailer been eating food.
Wow.
Even when Third World did it for his album, for their album, he still got credit for it.
Wow. You know,
it reached the point that even me, I said, yeah man, I Bunny tune, but we know said because he got away with it for all these years. That's one example. John Holt, I Want a Love I Can Feel.
Yes.
That's a song written by Smokey Robinson.
I didn't even know that.
But, you know,
know that.
Smokey had it, I Want a Love I Can See.
Oh.
And Mr. Dad put Feel. So he threw it off.
Right.
Dennis Brown.
Clever, man.
Dennis Brown did How Can I Live?
How Can I Live?
The actual title is How Can I Leave? Leave. Throw it off again. So that's those little tricks in the industry.
But you have to be in the business and rub the shoulder with the boys from overseas to know how you can move, shift around a word here and
I
there.
can put one line in your song that you write and claim co-authorship.
True.
Just if it change the essence of the song, that one word.
Change the melody.
I'm co-writer.
Oh, wow.
Regardless of how many verses.
Yes.
I put one word in there. You said phone and I said cell phone.
Yeah.
You said line phone and I said cell phone in the song.
And that's it.
That's it. That's all I need.
Now I know why these people overseas that do it right.
Yes.
Stay well with even one hit.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
One hit, and I'm saying to myself, how can they live such a lavish life with just one hit? But they have done it right.
Yeah, they've done it right. Publishing is good.
Yes.
And you look at Johnny Nash and I can see clearly now.
For years I thought that was Jimmy Cliff.
No.
I'm so embarrassed as a DJ. For years, if you ask me who's the original singer, I tell you it's Jimmy Cliff.
Johnny Nash. But Jimmy Cliff, as a man who knows the business.
Yes, as somebody who has been traveling.
Also have to credit Johnny Nash.
Right. Man, I tell you.
So you can have, and I say it all the time, you can have one good song, George McRae, Rock Your Baby.
Yeah.
Name me another big hit.
I can't name another big
Carl
hit.
Douglas, Kung Fu Fighting.
Everybody was, can't name another big hit.
There you go. You can live off of one hit.
song.
Yeah, one song.
Now, Mr. Lindsay, you now have taken the initiative to start to look out for these younger guys.
Yes.
And you brought them here. You
Yes.
brought them here to do shows.
Yes.
And you keep these shows annually to keep these guys busy.
Yes.
I know of a person, I don't know if you know him, probably you know him because he was very popular in the industry in the same line of work. Yeah. Mr. T-Boots Harris, he passed now.
Oh, yes. T-Boots Harris, good friend of mine.
Yes.
T-Boots Harris was, I'm also a journalist.
He was
by
a
trade.
journalist, right.
And he recruited me for the weekend, what's the name of that paper? That turned into X News.
X News now in Jamaica,
Yeah,
right.
and I wrote for X News until they folded. T-Boots, very good friend of mine. Very
great guy. And he was in the same line. He was one who used to help artists to get their permit.
And he would bring them to me. If someone check him in the later years, he would just give them my number and say, this is the man you need to. And, the thing is, artists would just do their stuff knowing that I'm around the corner.
Yes.
And if a guy has a hit and for whatever reason I don't come to them, they have me up for it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes, man. First time, I remember Red Dragon.
Yes.
When they have him first hit. And
very good friend of mine.
Yeah, first
May
hit.
his soul rest in peace.
Yes, and Ola Fresh.
Ola Fresh.
He was managed by a lady.
Techniques.
Yes.
Mr. Riley.
Mr. Riley. So, what I did come for him, but she was telling me 6 of them travel and she wanted $4,000. And I'm like, for what?
They weren't leaving out the group.
Yes.
Like Flower Gun, Daddy Lizard, Sanchez.
Yes.
It was a little group that Technique had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I didn't come for him now, and then when I came back for Sanchez, he was part of the group. As a matter of fact, I saw Flower Gun first, and someone told me if I went for Sanchez, I wanted Sanchez. Someone told me to get Sanchez, I have to go to Flower Gun. So I found him at Tough Gun. So he said to me, well, he will take me to Sanchez, but me have to guarantee him that he's coming on the package.
On the trip too.
And then he started to tell me about Daddy Lizard, and then he revealed to me that his brother is Red Dragon. I'm saying, listen, what we do, what the name of that area where they come from?
Red Hills. Them come from Red Hills Road. Yeah.
So I'm saying, listen, we just make it that package. Just make it a Red Hills Road package or whatever with Flower Gun, Daddy Lizard, Red Dragon, and Sanchez.
That was the package.
And that was the package I brought up.
Well, you know what? I like the unity amongst them.
Yes,
now
to
them
this
look out
day.
for each other.
To this day.
Yes.
To this day.
And that too tells me that this is where our business are folding, because the youths today are not like that.
Yeah, they don't have that unity.
I want to just take me and me have the big tune.
And something to, in those days, an artist will recommend
another artist.
And I tell the story all the while. I never knew nothing about Papa San. It was Peter Metro. Because after we finished that first tour, and I was doubtful I was gonna continue because I didn't make any money and it was just a lot of headache.
Yes.
And I expressed to Peter that, I don't know, Peter, I don't think I'm gonna continue. He said, no, boss, we need you. I'm saying, but even if I continue, who the heck is there? Because I carry up 6 or 7 of you guys.
Yes.
He said, yo, there's a youth named Papa San. I said, Papa San? Who that? He said, nah, man. He said, Len put Papa San on everything from the beginning.
Yes.
Papa San has no hit song, but every DJ afraid of the youth there. I'm like, really? And he said that. I said, where am there? He said, over Spanish Town, De La Vega City.
Yes.
And that's where I stay when I go to Jamaica.
Oh, so it literally was in your area?
In the same De La Vega City, because that's where I was headquartered when I go to Jamaica.
Yes.
So the girl that was working with me to get artists and so, I said to her, Ivan, you ever heard of somebody named Papa San? She went, San? I said, yes, son. So you know him? She said, yeah. Oh, please, son, live around the corner. I said, what's that? A king is never honored in his own.
True. Never honored in his own.
Yeah,
in hometown.
Listen, when I come to Jamaica, I want you to set up a meeting with this guy. She said, son? I said, yes. Peter Metro told me how good he is and that, you know, all the DJs them afraid of him. So when I went down the next time, you know, he came by to see me. And I said to him, you know, him chat some lyrics for me and all of that. And I said, damn, he was only 16.
Oh, wow.
And I put him on a package that features, I usually, when I get an artist like that, no name, I'll put them on reserve. And usually when I'm bringing in a big artist, I'll put that artist.
Add them to it.
To get some exposure.
That's very smart.
And that, the artist I was bringing in was Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, big name.
And because what happened now, there was a sound clash in the Bronx between the home sound African Love.
Yes.
And Gemini.
Gemini from Jamaica.
Yes.
With Drama Wayne and...
No, man, long before them guys. Yeah, Johnny Ringo.
And Welton
Irie.
Yes. A lot of people didn't know Welton Irie become an artist. And it was a selector first.
Yes. Well.
And then become an artist.
Yes. So he... Too hot shot, you know. So the owner of African Love called me.
Yes.
And say that they're gonna clash with if I could provide him any entertainment.
Additional entertainment.
He had Shinehead.
Okay, which was very popular
very
here.
Good, yes. Very good, very good. But okay, I have a package coming up with Papa San and Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin, whoa.
He knew Charlie Chaplin, of course, you
Yes.
know, but no one knew
Papa San.
And I brought up Papa San. It was July 4th weekend, Eve. So it was July
the 3rd.
Yes. HQ in the Bronx.
Oh, man.
And I tell you, FLEXX, Papa San chat some lyrics. Nobody have ever heard taking off your hand and stick it in your head and pop out. I mean, it was just crazy.
Kid got talent.
Oh, gosh, man. That evil with him.
Yes.
And Shinehead. Not even Charlie Chaplin wanted to go up on the stage.
Because I credit Shinehead too, you know. Shinehead's a very talented individual.
He does it all.
But I'm telling you, Papa San, to me, you speaking now, man, it make every year stand up.
Yeah, great.
Very talented guy.
From that moment, he became my favorite. Because just the lyrics, clean.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes.
It just make you...
And you can visualize what he's saying.
Yes. So after the next day now, Earl Moody from Moody's Records called me. I said, Clinton, what happened at HQ last night? I said, like what? I said, boy, since he opened, there's at least 300 people coming into the store asking for cassettes. You know, back in the old days, we didn't have CD.
Record, the
cassettes.
And them sellers
if you don't have a cassette out there, you ain't saying nothing.
No.
That's what DJ would break by having their sound system and cassette.
True.
And he only had one of Papa San. And he said if he had 500 cassettes, he would have sold off.
Man, look at that.
But yeah, that's how Papa San and I started. And so many of them. Shabba Ranks, if I tell you the story of Shabba, when I first saw Shabba was coy, smart.
Yes.
I had driven up to Tough Gang and I went over to pick up some promo records.
Okay.
And Ivan was in the car and the juice man out by Tough Gang, you know, I was selling bun and cheese and beer.
Yes.
And his Rizla and all them things there. When I was crossing the street, the man said to Shabba was sitting down on the pavement. The man pointed me out and said, that's the man you need to see. The man they carry all the artists go foreign. This is what Ivan was telling me.
Yeah.
As she sat in the car and Shabba on top of his voice. Ooh, me? The man that now carry me go foreign, you know, so me black and ugly. And he was saying things like that. He was so me black, you know, the same thing with him carry on me, stinking, dirty shower ranks. So when I came back in the car now, she said to me, don't look now, but you see a guy over there, sir, him named Shabba. At the time was Shabba Rankin.
Yes.
Because he had 2 songs or 3 songs. I'm going to say, yeah. She said to me, you should hear him. I said, about you. What is about me? Man, him never do that. So if you guys about me, while I'm backing up trying to reverse to head for the airport.
Yes.
And take a look at glimpse now and then and look at him. And you know what he said about me hurt me so badly. Even when I was flying, when I was in the plane, in those days you'll get dinner.
Oh yes,
You remember those?
Here in Jamaica, you used to give
when
the
I was an
real
American traveler, American airline traveler.
Most time the airline them give you
breakfast,
real food.
lunch, and
yeah,
dinner.
and you get your orange juice if it's morning, and stuff like that. Yeah.
And after I finished eating, you know, I was saying, why would he say something like that? Do I look like I picked them by color? You know, it's ridiculous. And I couldn't wait to reach for the plane to reach, so I can call Ivan. I say, Ivan, I need you to go find him, get his information, and I'm gonna show him I'm not that type of guy. And within a week or two, she called me and said that she found him, and she gave me the information. I have him on file, like I did with Papa San.
Yes.
So when the moment came,
yeah,
you know, I'm gonna give him that surprise, and that's exactly what I did.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And sometimes these are the breaks that these artists get where becomes international recognized, because now they're here, somebody else to them and have an interest.
And you know something, from that was 89.
Yeah, Shabba, just a bus.
And previously he got turned down at the embassy because Sting International told David Levy to send Shabba a flyer and let him go to the embassy, saying that he's coming to the underground to work. They didn't know it don't work like that. You have to get a work permit. So Shabba went to the embassy, carried the flyer, and the guy looked at the flyer and asked him where's the petition. And they said, petition, what's that? The man said, you gotta get a work permit. You can't just go to America, boom. In those days, they stamp a red mark in the back of the passport.
Yeah, man, that's a red flag.
A red flag. So he wouldn't let anybody else touch his passport. I never stopped getting him work permits until 1992.
Oh,
so
okay.
for about 3-4 years, even Shabba signed up with Sony, appearing with Arsenio all over the country, all over the world.
Yes.
One man was getting his permits.
And that was
that was me.
Wow.
Never allowed, because he was afraid, you know, that experience he had.
Yes.
And I remember when Sony sent me a letter, wanted me to hand over his Shabba's history, travel history and everything over to their lawyer. And he and I have a discussion on it. And he said, well, he think I should do it because he reached a level now where, you know, it's bigger than me.
Yeah.
It's just about bigger than me. I'm saying, all right. I'm going to get a fee every time he travels, because when I used to get them, I would book him.
Okay.
Or, you know, I'll get a fee every time a promoter would use him.
Yes.
So that was I was losing an income.
Yes.
At the time. So we kind of work it out where for a couple of years I would get.
Okay.
I would get.
So I'm still work it out. So it's beneficial for you.
Yes.
Yes. Now you didn't stop there.
Oh, no.
You go on now and you create another platform for recognition, which is the Tamika Awards.
Tamika Radio Awards.
What had led you to say
Each
I want
year,
to reward?
It's not me, I know me,
It wasn't you.
No.
Talk to me.
All right.
Talk to
Each year I'll have the top 100 countdown or whatever it was.
Yes.
And I would award the artist that does the best each year. Top singers, top producer, top female singers. So this particular year, 1988, Marcia Griffiths came out on top as the top female vocalist. She had 2 #1 songs.
Yes.
And a friend of mine, Jeff Sarge, Marcia had a sister that lived in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I would love to talk to Marcia, just to congratulate her and so. So Jeff said we'll set it up. But in those days, TC, we used to be on 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the mornings. That was our radio time.
Wow, yes.
And I was saying, would Marcia really be up waiting for a call? Big legendary Marcia Griffiths.
Yes.
And the night when I was doing the countdown, I called and she answered the phone and I put her on the air and I was like, wow, Marcia Griffiths. So I said, congratulations, and I'm gonna be, you have won the top female for the
Vocalist
year.
of the year.
She said, oh, nice, Clinton. So where's my award? I'm like, award? What award? She said, but you say I win award, so where's the award? I said, Marcia, just on paper, She said, no, if you say me win award, you must give me award. I said, okay. And when I was driving home from the studio that morning,
yes.
So when I went home now, I was telling my wife, I said, Annette, last night, first of all, she asked me, did you get Marcia? Did you get Marcia? Because everybody thought that it wasn't going to happen.
Yes.
Because Marcia with it 2:30 in the morning. Yeah. So I said, as a matter of fact, Annette, she asked me for an award, and I ain't got no award. She said, well, maybe she's trying to tell you something. I'm saying, like what? Start an award. Give her an award, start a program. In those days, I have multiple dates at the Beacon Theatre.
Okay.
So that was my
regular
venue. So I had April 1st, 1989, the first date. I usually have 4 dates per year.
Okay.
And I called Beacon. I said, listen, I want to take the first. And that's how the Tamika Reggae was. In those days, everything was Tamika. That's my daughter.
Okay.
Tamika Productions.
So you named the award
after my daughter. Tamika Production, Tamika Bookings, Tamika Management. I used to have a newsletter.
Yes.
Tamika Weekly, whatever. Everything that I had was Tamika.
A true father, I know. A true father.
I love that girl so much to this day.
Yes.
So everything was Tamika. So naturally, it's the Tamika Reggae Awards.
Was Tamika your only daughter at the time?
Yes, my first daughter at the time. Yes.
Okay, hence why.
And one of the reasons why I really love this girl, I also saw, I was in the delivery room.
And this is your first time seeing.
First, my other son before wasn't there. But this is the first child I'm seeing.
Childbirth that you have ever
actually coming to this world. So the love for her is like
it's gonna be different.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
totally different.
I remember the first time I've been there, and the nurse asked me if I want to come in, and I said no. And she said, "You sure?" I'm gonna say, "I'm positive." And I hear the mother in agony inside there.
Yeah.
And that's ends why I don't even want to go in there. And then now, honestly, have you ever seen a grown man cry?
Oh my God.
When I heard the little sound, man, I still, I couldn't even, like I called my mom to tell her, and it's like the word's not coming out.
Yeah. No, I was in there.
For real.
And when she came out, the nurse, I was in the garb, the hat and the boots and all of that. And when they took her out, the nurse held her by one foot, stamping the
footprint.
The footprint. I'm like, hey! Hey, what do you think you're doing? And then they put the tube down to get her breathing. I'm like, you can't do that. The doctor was like, Mr. Lindsay, she knows what she's doing. I said, no. And I was there trying to make up the good noise. And then me over here, call the security, get him out of here. And the guy came, took off my cap, pulled off my gown, and just put me through the side door. And I'm like, you can't do this to me, you can't do. And it's those doors that once you go through, you can't reach.
Slide back.
Yeah. So they kicked me out of the delivery room because I was like, no. But that's how they do it, So because of that, now I just
come this close to her because you have seen it.
Everything is Tamika. So that's how the Tamika Reggae Awards started.
The birth of it, and all it came from just an idea. You can't just award.
That's it.
Wow.
So where's my award? I'm like, award? What are you talking about? And that's how it started.
And a lot of artists have gotten recognition through that award.
Yes.
And you do this annually. At the
for
time.
11 years.
For 11 years, wow.
Yeah, for 11 years.
Decade.
As a matter of fact, I was talking to Donovan Germain a couple of weeks ago.
That's Mr. Penthouse.
Penthouse Records. And he said, he had a plaque that he did, Buju's album, Till Shiloh, just you remember that?
Yes.
And everybody, him having plaque, and Buju having plaque. And I'm like, hey, Germain, whatever happened to because back then he was winning producer, Barry Salmon,
yes,
Buju, Marcia Griffith. He was just winning like crazy. I'm saying, Jeremy, whatever happened to those Tamikas? I said, me have them? I said, you still have them? The man sent me a picture on a table.
Yeah.
He have about a dozen. He have about a dozen Tamika awards. I'm like, wow. He said, no, man, this means so much. I said, why it means so much to you? These are given to him by his people.
Yes. Yes. It's not an American award.
Yeah, it's not an American award.
It's a part of it, your culture.
Your culture. That's what, exactly what he said. That's why they mean so much to him. Because they were given by his people. Okay.
So the awards used to be the presentation, but also there were shows.
Yeah,
live performances and so forth. So you're still bringing in artists.
Yes, because I think one of the better ones was when Buju make his debut as a budding Rastaman.
Yeah. Oh yes.
And Till Shiloh.
Till Shiloh was the album that introduced that culture,
and
part of Buju.
Okay, so I called Jermaine. I said, Jermaine, I knew Buju was coming. What do you want? Because I usually try to accommodate them in terms of instruments and.
Okay.
He said, no, Buju no want no band, just have a grand piano. I said, grand piano? So I never thought anything of it. So I got the grand piano and Buju came with his guitar.
Acoustic guitar.
And I tell you, FLEXX, when we introduced him and he came on stage, I mean, for about a year, no one saw him.
Yes.
Because I used to have the 90s crew cuts and all that. And to see him now with budding dreads, he toured. That was the talk of New York for maybe about 3 months.
Wow. That must have been a good feeling for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And we have pictures with him at Madison Square Garden, taking pictures with Wesley Snipes, because we'll get all these celebrities to come and make presentations.
Oh, so Lindsay, you have your foot in the door, man.
yeah, we try.
No, man,
because, what happened, I realized that this is our thing.
Yes.
And I never had a Tamika Awards outside of Manhattan.
Okay.
Because if you go to the Bronx, it becomes localized.
Yes.
If you go to Brooklyn, it's another
localized.
So it's always in the city.
Yes.
Because what happens, everybody will come into the city.
Yes.
From Jersey, from the Bronx, from Queens.
Yes, Staten Island.
Not everybody will go to Brooklyn.
That's true.
You know
that. Clever move.
Yes. So everyone, Madison Square Garden, Avery Fisher Music Hall, the Palladium, Beacon Theatre, Town Hall.
Yes.
All
these are the
city,
venues in the cities that you utilizes.
Yes.
I love that. Now, Mr. Lindsay, 11 years after you have called it a day, it becomes too much.
Yes.
It come overbearing.
Yes.
Why never hand the baton off to? There wasn't no young one that you were grooming at the time to.
Let me tell you, you see when the Beanie Man era came in.
Yes.
This thing blew up even bigger, and I gave it to another production company, but they want to make it more of a American.
Oh.
They have American comedian as MC.
Okay, gotcha.
It's
taking away that authenticity that you had.
And it was a Jamaican thing, and I wanted it. I got sponsorship when Bobby Brown was touring its first solo tour. After
when he left the group.
Yes, and he was touring. Ear product. Ultra Sheen, I think it was. They wanted to give me like $100,000 to do the Tamika.
Yeah.
But number one, the first thing they wanted was to change the name.
Oh no, that
and
never gonna work.
They wanted to change the name. That was the tour where Shabba and
Bobby Brown
was on. And when by the time the tour reached
Midway.
Yeah, Atlanta.
I think the tour almost collapsed. I think because
It not collapsed, you know.
Shabba had to get off that.
What are you talking about? Get off what?
They never boot him off the tour.
They paid him off. He was killing Bobby Brown. By the time the tour reached Atlanta, we're in the South, where not many of our people, Bobby Brown mashed up the place.
Yeah.
But as he got closer, Atlanta, going to Richmond, Washington, D.C., New York, that's Shabba's stronghold.
That's true.
And they, you know, when specialists call me and say, yo, big man, we think they might take off Shabba for the tour, you know. I say, why? Because what they saw in Atlanta, they didn't like that. Shabba killed him in Atlanta. So I said to specialists, make sure you get your compensation, you know.
Yeah, for the rest of the days.
Yes. Right. And he said, oh, you mean, man? Oh, you mean? So I say, what the word gonna be? Shabba have the flu. come off the tour, have the flu.
I'm learning so much today.
Shabba had the flu. That's how he got off and he got the rest of his money. So that particular tour, when they came to New York, they wanted to have it at the Beacon.
The Beacon.
And the Tamika was right there.
Yes.
And they were off. The sponsor was the ear product.
The ear product.
And they were offering me $100,000 to have, you know, have it a Bobby Brown sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you gonna fit that in? Oh, you gonna fit in Bobby Brown, Tamika Awards, Reggae Awards. And I refused to take it. I turned it down.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. I compliment you for that.
Man, I turned it down because how am I gonna face my people when, you know, they're not stupid. They're gonna say, they must say, oh, you mean them buy me out, and that was the only thing we as reggae people, Jamaicans, Caribbean people had that we can say it's ours.
I am happy you were stubborn.
Oh, yeah.
And stuck in your ways.
Yes.
Because if you weren't, then like every other great product that we have, that we have lost, we would have lost it the same way.
Yeah, we would have. And I wouldn't be able to face, I would have to leave New York because one thing I can tell you though, over the years, my support that I've gotten from my listeners and from solid. Even when I have a show that is bad, as long as I come and apologize and people always forgive me. You know, I wasn't the promoter that would hide after a flop show.
Yeah.
When it flopped, I would still come out and thank people for coming out.
Just the same.
And one of the things I used to do that many promoters didn't do, and maybe still don't do, if I knew ahead that you're not gonna show, for whatever reason, you didn't get your permit, you know, whatever, I'm the first one to go on the radio, because I'm on radio, to tell you, you know, unfortunately, TC won't be making it for
you know, a lot of promoters don't do that, Mr. Lindsay.
I know.
Because if they know that, say, for example, Shabba is the crowd puller, and for you know ahead of time Shabba won't be there, them still let it ride just because them want.
Yeah, I don't do that. I never ever. If the thing happened this day of the show, and I'm not, because usually Saturday I'm not on the radio, I would pass it on to other guys.
That is there, right.
I would have a big sign at the window, the box office.
Yes.
Delroy Wilson will not be appearing.
Right. So if you're buying a ticket, you know that's in mind.
And some people,
and it worked for the betterment too.
99% of the time, people still
come.
Then still come and say, well, I respect Mr. Lindsay, respect that because they have been to shows.
Oh, man.
I just went to the best of the best with Cockatee a couple of years ago, waiting for Cockatee,
and not seeing Cockatee.
And no one made any announcement.
You see, that's the thing. And that's the thing that a lot of people, the party goers today, are skeptical about, because if we know Barrington Levy not showing up, you remember that there's a time in Jamaica where people start throwback and stuff like that?
Of course.
Because
and it was warranted in a way.
Yes.
Because I think promoters, there are a few honest ones.
Yeah, like yourself. There are a few honest ones.
And then, but for the most part, the fear of losing. Because you know, it's a big investment.
Oh, it is.
You invest time and money.
Yes.
And nobody wants to lose.
Right.
But you also have to be, if you're a one-time promoter, I can see you not saying. But if you're a regular promoter like myself and Tony Rebel and them things, it's worth it to be honest.
Yes.
With your audience, to tell them, listen, this guy is not coming in. You don't have to go into details.
Details, right.
But still, let them know. So
Give
at
them
the end
the
of the
option.
show,
Give
right.
them the option.
Yes.
So at the end of the show, no one can say that the promoter trick we, you know.
Yes. And that
You know,
was
the promoter
never.
no say, and then it looked bad on the artist too. For whatever reason, the artist didn't get to come, whether it the permit situation
Right.
or the funding never right.
Right.
It looked bad when the next time you say I fly with the artist, yeah, so this artist is a no show.
And
you know.
there are so many that have come under that reputation.
Yes.
Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaacs.
Oh man.
I remember when I did Gregory Isaacs, his first return to America after 8 years.
Yes.
I was the one that did that show 1991. And I told the manager at the time that for me to get involved with this, because there are so many shows that have been promoted with Gregory.
And it's a no-show.
No show. I said, I have to have Gregory in New York 1 week before the show. So I could
Smart.
take him to
These
the restaurants
venues and let people know.
yes, have him on the radio, have him at the record shops and all of that.
Yes.
And that's how I was able to do a sellout show with Gregory Isaacs. Pain in the butt, but you know, he was there. I have him on the radio. I had him by Moody's on a Saturday. I have him over by Superpower. I have him at VP.
Yes.
People will see him and say, yes, he's here. You know. There was a time when you could have an artist talk on the radio, call in from wherever, and they still don't show. So people don't want to hear like a Gregory or a Dennis Brown on the phone.
Yes.
That's no guarantee. But if you have Dennis Brown at Moody's Records or Superpower, he's in town.
I guarantee. Now I know why promoters used to book us to come do a show and bring us in like probably 5 days before the show.
After.
And I'm saying, but this not the hotel fee now cost more. They rather us being there
because
people know
right
based on the last DJ that they brought in, and the DJ was a no-show.
Yes.
For whatever reason. Sometimes the artist is there and the balance is not forthcoming, and they decide that I'm not going up there. But it also look bad.
It look bad. And me as a promoter.
And the promotion and the artist.
Me as a promoter and also as a booking agent, I know it from both ends.
Yes.
I know it from on stage and behind stage.
And off stage, right.
So when something, the crowd is not there like was expected.
Yes.
As a booking agent, I will talk to the artist. So listen, do it. You know, if you were gonna spend an hour on stage, I'll do 40 minutes.
Yes.
Because you still got a deposit.
Yes.
And that means something, and people in the audience pay to come and see you.
Yes.
They shouldn't be punished for whatever happens between you and the promoter.
True, so true.
You see, so another promoter, I guess I have that relationship that I can't remember any artist that stood me up that way. Can't remember.
Because your thing is so different. It's like you really are dealing with a human being.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a son I deal with his father. Like you would tell any one of your friend or your uncle and say, no, I'm not coming. But when your father can say, yes, dad, I'm coming.
I guess so.
So it's a kind of respect that you show them.
Yeah.
It reflects right back to you.
Because if I did a show, I remember the first show I did, not the first show, but the first time I brought Sanchez up. And I booked him in Washington. And it was, weather was bad and, you know, the crowd wasn't there. But the promoter, they clean out the bars and everything just to give him whatever money he's supposed to get. That even the singles, the wet singles, when we went to Kennedy to pick him up, right? He had this brown bag. He vexed, you know, vexed. But guess what? He has a brown bag with the singles wet from the bar.
Yes.
He got his money.
Yes.
You understand? Even though it's not $100 bills or 50s and 20s. So he was so vexed. He said, boy. And then having Flower Gun and Red Dragon around him didn't help because they mouth him. You know, they was like, boy, Sanchez, you come America, $1 bill you get. But the thing is, he can't go around and say we didn't pay him.
Right.
Because I explained to him, $1 bill is still legal tender.
Yes.
You understand? So yeah, it happened. But I can't recall any. Two things happened to other promoters that don't happen to me. Artists sticking me up and gunshot being fired in any of my events. Now, as a matter of fact, I was one of the few promoters that would get all of the gangsters them in there.
Yes.
Because listen, I make sure even me, my family, everybody going in get searched.
Okay.
So when those bad guys see that,
yes,
why even the promoter? Because I was never involved with any of the passes or any of the gangs.
It would be a conflict.
Yeah.
Of what you would
and I make sure when we are going in and out.
Yes.
That means nobody, we are pay security to secure this place. Taking a check.
Yes.
That means you have to take a check.
A check too.
So I would have all of the cocaine cowboy, the this posse and the shower and the this and all of them.
And
that's the only dance I can. I'm the only promoter that they have that kind of respect for.
You know, you see, when you do it the way that you have done it, Mr. Lindsay, that's the blueprint. You have the blueprint, and promoter today should actually take a page from that. I know a good friend of mine who is actually in prison right now. Promote an event with Capleton. He brought Capleton up in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
And this event was like the turnout was more than what he expected.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, you know how it goes when our artists them do them thing and the gun salute, and I don't know who brought a gun in the venue.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a field like at a high school field that they booked out.
Oh, okay.
Evander or something like that. And someone got shot. I think it's a lady got shot. She died.
I think I remember.
And that case went on till, here's how them charge him. They charge him for, they want to know how many persons were in the venue.
Mm-hmm.
When they found out how many tickets were sold,
mm-hmm.
then them charge him per person. So he was responsible for the life of everybody in that venue.
Yes, that is true.
And he should have got ample security too, and that's how he got locked up.
And if you remember, something similar with Heavy D, Puff Daddy, down at City College when they had the show.
Oh, in New York.
In New York.
Yes.
And, people were...
That time P. Diddy wasn't even he was just on the rise. Yes, I remember that, that was, concert. That was a stampede.
Yes, that was a stampede. And those guys were my peers on the other side.
Yes.
I do dancehall, they do rap.
Do hip-hop.
Yeah,
yes.
You know. And I remember I was there. I was there at the City Convention Center, in Manhattan. And I didn't like the vibe. Because number one, I use real police officers.
Yes.
Because I realized that when I use like the Muslim guys, Islam.
Oh, okay.
Our people don't have no respect for them.
No.
Oh, boy. Oh.
You can't touch me. Don't touch me. No,
but when there was a off-duty police officer, Larry, that's all I knew him as.
Yes.
And he moonlight as a security, and he would have like 5 or 6 other police officers
of his friend with him.
And he, you know, the white guy. So a bit expensive.
Yes.
But what I noticed, our people have so much respect that when they walk up, we just open up. You know? But next to me, those Muslims guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, don't touch my woman. Oh, boy, I'm gonna touch her. When we have a white security, they volunteer.
You know what, Mr. Lindsay? You have used psychology throughout this whole business.
You have to.
Throughout this whole business, you have used psychology, and it's what works and what you see works outside of the dance hall, outside of the norm. I tell people this: I would more watch my people and give their own people a hard time.
Yes.
And when it's another group, they're so disciplined.
Yeah. I noticed that like the first time I used the fruit of, what's the name of that group? But they are from the Islam group. I forgot the official name, but
they were like a security company.
Yeah, they are a security company.
Okay.
And I noticed the first time I used them because what happened, I'm always involved I'm not those promoters that you don't know, you don't see. Because remember, I'm on the radio.
Yes.
So I will be standing up there watching and see how they react to these guys. And, oh, they touch me and oh boy, take off your gun, no, take off your gun and so me do to you. And I said, And then African Love told me about Larry and the boys and his boys. I said, let me try Larry for my next event. And when they come in, because you come in, you get searched, and then you go to pay
the ticket, right?
You go to the ticket. And I noticed that the same man where I run off him mouth last week.
Yes, quiet this week.
Yes, open up.
Very much.
Yeah, open up at the search, And I'm like, And when I saw that, I realized, okay, you have more respect for Larry and his boys. And all during my career as a promoter doing dances,
yes,
it was always, as a matter of fact, and all of the commercials I have to put, when people put
security,
tight security and all that. No, we say security by Larry and his boys. So everybody knew Larry and his boys.
Get Larry and his boys.
Yes.
I tell you. So, Mr. Lindsay, now you have migrated to Florida.
Yes.
What caused the transition? What caused the migration?
Okay.
Tired of New York, the weather?
No,
snowbirding?
No, not like that. Like I said earlier, the Tamika can be very stressful.
Yes.
And whenever I did a Tamika, 2 weeks later I would go to Jamaica just to chill out. But I have an uncle down here, Uncle Stunky, that is always telling me to, instead of go to Jamaica, just come to Miami, come chill.
Yeah.
In those days, I saw Miami as country because it was all New York. I'm just being honest with you.
Yes.
The New York at the time was the reggae capital.
Oh, yes.
Of the USA, of the US. Miami, So in 2002, after the Tamika Awards, I had what they call a mild heart attack.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
A mild one. A mild one is.
Yeah. It wasn't fatal.
Right.
It wasn't fatal.
You're still here.
Yes. And first of all, they thought it was a stroke, and after I went to the hospital and there for a couple of days, they finally came back and said what they saw most likely was a heart attack. And the doctor, my personal doctor, now told me when he got the report from the hospital that I need to get rid of my stress.
Oh.
And the only thing that was stressing me out was the Tamika Award. It's an all year thing, brethren.
I know, as this one finished, the planning
start for the next one, because we'd have to go get sponsors.
Yes.
Sponsors was the main thing.
Wow.
For me, being a promoter in the city, the venue is the least of my problem.
Oh, and I would think that would be the hardest part.
No. Because if I go to every Fisher Music Hall, I just tell them, call Beacon Theatre. They would highly recommend me. And they do, because they are in the same union.
Yes.
And they would call Beacon Theatre, and Beacon Theatre say, oh no, it's good. Book back, I get the date. Next year I'll go somewhere else and say, call Avery Fisher Music Hall.
Yes.
And when you can do a show at Avery Fisher Music Hall or Beacon or Madison, you have a reputation as one of the few black promoters.
Yes, Caribbean promoter.
We never had problem. The biggest problem we ever had was smoking.
Oh.
Yeah,
very hard to control.
The man didn't stop burning them weed. And
yes.
I would be on the radio. I said, come on, guys. Because when they leave the butt all over and it's just not good to...
I know the environment that you're in is not necessarily... We are a minority in that kind of environment.
Yes, and that's the only problem I have.
Next event is going to be a Caucasian event coming after that. So.
And, by the law, you're not supposed to smoke in theater.
Yes.
In a theater, in a closed theater. So after that heart attack, I called my uncle and I said to him, I probably want to come down for a while, because it was a temporary move.
Yes.
And I had a friend at a radio station down here, Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, I know Captain Kirk.
Captain Kirk.
Good guy.
Yeah, he also encouraged me, and when I came down, he took me around, and We went to Vibes. That's in Merrimar. And I started Vibes and just have my wife come up, and here we are.
Just transition.
Transition, yes.
So did you have any thought of bringing back Jamaica Awards? Or you don't see a venue down this side that could?
Listen, I've been bombarded for years to bring it back.
Yes.
And I knew why. I knew the result of if I bring it back and I don't have sponsors.
Yes.
I don't want to go back. Maybe the second time I won't be that lucky.
It won't be a mile one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if I get the sponsor and I have the money in hand,
yes,
I would do it. But I'm not gonna go out and seek sponsorships.
Okay. Well, you know what? Based on our conversation, I can tell you that your name is a legacy. Yeah. Your name holds weight in the community, both here in the diaspora and in Jamaica.
Yes, yes.
You can go anywhere in Jamaica and say, Mr. Clinton Lindsay. You don't even have to say Mr. Clinton, just say Mr. Lindsay. Yeah. And one directly, the antenna goes up and know who.
And I think it's all because of the closeness. I would take an artist that doesn't have a name.
Yes.
And once you bring them here to the US,
yes,
their value go up.
Oh yeah.
Because by the time, when I tell you about Papa San, by the time San went back to Jamaica, he was a superstar. Heroes welcome, because in those days, I used to report to Barry G also.
Okay.
So the weekend, I went on the radio with Barry G, and I told Barry G what happened.
This kid, Papa San.
He said, Papa San? Are you telling me that Papa San mashed down, blah, blah, blah? So by the time
he reached back in
he reached back to Jamaica. So I remember one time I was driving, coming down from Red Hills Road, and police stopped the car, and, you know, license and everything. And when I gave him my license name, are you the man from Barry G? I said, yeah, Clinton Lindsay. He said, no, man, go on, man. So it pays off in those little ways.
Yes.
It pays off.
No, it will. The name and itself is a household name in our community, and it's not often we have, you know, giants like yourself, because we have seen even Barry himself go through some little difficulties where he have to leave radio for a bit, get himself together. He came back, and it can be overwhelming.
It can be, but you know something, Flex, I was never an upfront person in terms of having my face out there.
Yeah.
For the past, I'm now celebrating my 45th years in the
broadcasting.
Yes, and it's within the last 2 years that people, even New York,
to see the face, at the face,
but they know the voice.
Okay.
I've been in restaurants here.
Yeah.
Then when I order, the man behind me, I know that voice. I say, yeah, you know. He said, no, man, you're from New York, right? And so the voice is out there more than the face. It's just now I'm bringing the face out.
You know, bringing the face out is one of the things that is a good segue into, you know, you being in this 45 years. You have gone through, I said this to you off the air, that you have gone through all the changes that radio have been through.
Yes.
You have been through it. You know, you have been there from the analog to the digital.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And, you know, and it's one of the reasons why I personally have this level of respect for you, because it's not often you find, let me use this word, dinosaur, that you can't even find anymore in the business, that's still alive and active, actively doing it today, and doing it the way that it's supposed to be done. You're not taking a shortcut to it. You're not afraid to say, I don't know this, or you know, I will ask my grandson to do this. And so forth. You know,
he's the one now that teaches me this new thing. You know.
Yes.
And I want to take this opportunity to thank Eddie Edwards. Eddie Edwards, one of the few people that welcomed me. To Florida. With open arms, no reservation. Not intimidated by my name and my
and the fact that he's also a promoter too here in Florida
and
as well.
he was able to have my name and my history submitted to the Merrimar committee. They have this annual Icon of Reggae
awards. Yes.
And I'm one of the recipients for this year.
For this year.
Yes.
Congratulations,
thank
man,
you.
on your nomination.
Along with Inner Circle.
Yes. Wow.
Bob Marley. Dale Holness.
Dale Holness. But you're among some giants.
Yes, yes. It's a good feeling.
Have to be.
Yeah, it's a
be.
good, especially in Florida, because
Yes.
I picked up various awards in New York.
Yes.
Just 2019, I got the congressional citation
Wow.
from Yvette, Councilwoman Yvette Clark.
Yes.
Which was a good thing. And I've gotten, a few over the years. But to be recognized in Florida,
Yes.
it's a good feeling.
You have brought what you know, the professionalism from New York to Florida.
Yeah.
And I've heard that when I heard you on radio when I came to Florida, and I said, all right, I'm not sure what this is. This is something like I've been hearing in New York. So it's this in New York, and I'm hearing the same. I wonder if this is a syndicated show. And this is why I know that you migrated to Florida. So a couple of years after now, this was like 2000, probably 9, 10, somewhere around there.
Yes, I started the Foundation Radio Network.
Yes.
I started the Foundation Radio Network, and I still have home studio.
Yes.
But even though I live in Florida,
you syndicate
to New York.
Okay.
That's just my market.
Yes.
And currently, I'm on 3 radio stations in New York every day.
Wow.
So right now, back when I was there, I was covering 100% of all 5 boroughs.
Yes.
Now I'm doing like 90%.
Okay.
Of all, because I have one of the stations in Brooklyn that covers Lower Manhattan,
Yes.
Queens, Brooklyn, Long Island.
Yes.
Then I'm on 2, cover the Bronx, Westchester County, Queens,
Wow.
and go all the way up. So my people who grew up with me
Yes.
can still hear me in New York City.
Well, you have your fan base is just diverse.
Yes.
You have a very diverse fan base.
Yes.
You have those like their parents, and then the kids becomes the fan.
And it's by design, because unlike some other radio people,
Yes.
they feel they have to change and adapt what's going on today. I don't do that. I still maintain, but I still play
What's going
Christopher
on.
Williams,
Yes.
Christopher Martin, and
Romain
Chronix
Bergen,
right.
those guys.
My logo for my program is Big People Music with the Young in Mind.
Wow. Big people music with the young in mind, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
that's my logo.
Oh yes. So therefore you captivate both sides of the fence.
Yes, yes. Because not many people, as you have said several times, that were there.
Yes.
Then, because most of them retire.
Oh yes. Our some
what radio
pass off.
doing now is more
More automated than anything else.
and more commercial. Like
Yes.
They do this. You go on the air and
every
it's all
15
about
minutes
sell.
it's the
sell.
same song what has been
Yes,
sold.
yes,
It just keep
yes,
going
yes.
on. It's a whole radio is different now from what it was
Yes.
back then.
And I try to stay with the changes. If I don't know, I'll ask my grandson, I'll
Yes.
ask Marlon, Ed Robinson, Joanna, those people
Yes.
to help me out, let me understand.
Yeah.
And
See, that's the difference with you,
yes,
Mr.
and
Lindsay.
first I was reluctant to accept the changes.
Yeah.
But then, when they sit me down and say, Mr. Lindsay, this is what's happening now. Like the Zooming thing.
Yes.
I was like, what? So that's a thing that I'm gonna be doing in the very near future.
Okay. Well, for us here, we have transitioned from radio into a much more visual kind of
Yes,
setting.
yes, yes.
And it's what we want to bring because, visual is the thing now. Everywhere you go in the world,
Yes,
people are
yes.
want to see.
Yes.
If a song dropped today, they want to see the video tomorrow or today.
Yes.
So that's where we are right
Yeah,
now.
and
So you just have to meet with the time.
And that's what I decided to do. This is why I said earlier that, I was always behind the mic.
Yes.
You wouldn't get me to come
in
up
front of a camera.
But I realize now to be relevant today.
Yes.
You need that.
Oh,
yes. In the past, I've turned down a lot of stations that wanted to come to my studio and set up cameras. I remember a branch of BBC, Kiss FM.
Oh, yes.
They wanted to do, carry my program.
Yes.
But they wanted to do it online and have someone come to my house and say, hell no. Because when I'm doing my show behind the scene, I'm not dressed.
Okay, right.
I'm just walking around. I don't want nobody to see that.
So traditional.
So traditional, exactly. But now I realize that it's a new day.
Oh yes, one of the biggest network with radio right now is a thing called iHeartRadio.
Yes, I'm
and
familiar with that.
they take over the internet like nobody does.
Yes.
And that's a bar that I'm trying to get to.
Right.
Yes, they have taken over, and they everybody who is on the regular radio are now trying to get into iHeart. Yeah, because they have a thing going on that is, the thing about internet is it goes worldwide, it's global.
Yes.
When you're on a dial, take the still for example, you're within this radius.
Yes.
As far as the dial goes.
Yes.
With internet, it's no limit.
Right.
And that's the difference. And with your voice and the message that you have a program that you do on YouTube. I tend to go and watch some of the series then. Now You Know. And very interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things I never knew, which now I know.
No, yeah. Well, that's so we. What happened? My grandson said to me, "Grandpa, you need." I took him to Jamaica.
Yeah.
In 2020, just before the pandemic, I took him to see the Gregory Isaacs.
Memorial.
No, Red Rose.
Red Rose
for Gregory. Every even though they didn't have one this year, but for Valentine weekend, they would have a series. His wife June would have it. So I took Elijah with me, and it's been a while since I've been into that crowd.
Yeah.
But this kid now, he just saw me as grandpa.
Yes.
I'm his grandfather. So when he was in Jamaica now and he saw how people were like, Mr. Lindsay, and I couldn't even walk 10 feet without
somebody else breathing you.
And he was like, who are you? And I'm like, so from there he took a more interest in my history, and he
say that you should tell your story.
Yeah, should tell my story.
Hey, you notice something, Mr. Lindsay? Your kids, from your daughter to your grandson, they're very much instrumental in you putting the thing out there. Yeah. I think if I would want you to revamp Tamika Awards, I cannot come directly to you. I may have to go to one of the kids.
All right. Yeah. And to be honest with you, if it comes back, I personally wouldn't have a direct hand in it.
Yeah.
Because, I'm 65 years old now.
You don't look it.
I want to relax and just sit down and enjoy the show.
So
this maybe is people like you and others can, I would just give directions. I say,
what I would like is the blueprint of it, for it to be just like the way you want it.
Yeah. That I
know was successful.
Yes.
And you cannot move away from what was successful.
Yes.
So the blueprint, I know you have that.
Yes, I do.
So that is where would I want you to come in and stay.
But the everyday.
But the everyday hands-on.
No.
All right. So let's recruit some people.
Yeah, you get
But honestly, the Tamika Awards are for Jamaicans on a whole.
Yes, I get that
like the Grammy Awards.
And it was.
Yes. And every year you will get a copy of that in the paper in Jamaica, like who was the recipient and so forth.
All of them would want to come up to cover, from Gleaner, Observer, The Star, X News.
It's another props for an artist.
Yes.
An artist would say, yo, me get the Tamika Awards.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
this day,
they can book me.
To this day, when I realized how important it was.
Yes.
VP Records.
Yes.
They would get album, you know, their artist will win something. And for the first 2 years,
Yes.
it was just nothing. By the third year, when VP put out a press release and let's say Barry Salmon or whoever they're promoting, winner of the 2019 whatever Tamika Awards.
You
I'm
see
like,
the props? You
yes.
see the props?
Yeah, yes.
That's it.
Yes.
So a lot of artists get the props from that, and that is one thing that you know, a lot of artists miss.
Yeah.
When Tamika Award was, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I get that. If I run into Tony Rebel right now, the first thing he might ask me. Richie Stevens, the first thing. Freddie McGregor, the first thing.
Yes.
Boss, when Tamika come back, I'm like, you know, I'm a granddad now. But like I said, if I get the resources to do it, I would recruit people like you and others, and I'll just stay in the back. 'Cause it's very stressful. You're young and, you know, you can deal with that stress.
Lindsay, just say I'm young. I take that. I'm gonna take that very
literally speaking. You know, you can't deal with that. But that's the reason why I would love right now,
yes,
to just relax and enjoy it.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's the benefit of what I've put in over the years.
Oh yes.
And even though, you know, I'm still in media,
yes,
and I'm in my 45th year, I still feel like I have more to give. I still have something more to give.
Oh, you have a whole lot more to give. I'm not gonna allow you to rest. I'm not gonna allow you to rest. No.
Yeah, there are people like you. That,
yes.
Another thing I did that I'm proud of also is the fact that during my heyday, I would bring in other guys, train them to be.
Yes.
You know, I have a long list of announcers that I've trained.
Yes, that's another credit that goes to your name.
Yes.
I know a lot of persons who credit you for them being in the industry.
Just a little word of encouragement, you know, TC. You know, if someone, like I give you the story with Marlon.
Yes.
When Marlon came to me, Marlon, you know, he came with the idea of doing reggae gospel.
Right.
And I'm like, Marlon, reggae gospel, there's no such thing. 'Cause 90, 95, 96, there was no program on radio anywhere. And I gave him half an hour of my time.
Yeah, wow.
And he did his thing, and the phone line went berserk. And I'm like, people say, Mr. Lindsay, yo, get a youth that time. And that's how Marlon ended up getting half an hour of my program in double RTN in New York.
Double RTN.
Yeah, just give
Whitney
them
radio.
Yeah, Whitney. Yeah, there
okay,
you go.
Right.
I've been at so many of them up there. But just give a youth the opportunity, encouragement.
Yes.
You know, Chris Dubmaster up there, he's one of the. I trained him for about 5 years. I never turned him back. When he called me, he wanted to know if he wanted to just get dates at the underground. He wanted to be a selector and play music. And when I heard that voice, DC, I said, damn, what a voice. I said, no, I have to get him. And I told him that I want him to co-host with me. And he said, nah, I just want to be a selector. And I have no interest in radio. And I said, okay, watch me.
And he's now a signature.
No, he's the biggest name up there now.
Yeah, him and Roy.
DJ Roy, yes.
Yes, very good.
So sometimes a youth come to you, you give them little words of encouragement.
Yes.
That can, when they come to
you probably go further than you even go in your pocket. You know?
Yes. When they come to a man like me, I'm going to tell them, say, run them and tell them they're not good. It's crushing for them.
True.
You know, if I can say, even singers to this day, man will come to me and send me tune. I'm going to say, man, you have a good voice. You need better lyrics, a better rhythm. When I say that to them, three months later, the same guy would come back with some. I would say, are you this? And I say, yeah, man, tell me some minutes.
Words of encouragement.
Words of encouragement. A long way. Long, long way.
I love that.
Yes.
Mr. Lindsay, it's Reggae Month, just to wrap up.
Yes.
What just by hearing your journey, what does this month means to you?
It means a lot. It means a lot because I remember when I used to be on radio back in them days, and we used to get calls from idle white people and idle black American who would tell us to come off of the radio and go back on your banana boat and all them things there. You used to call and mock us, our accents.
Yeah.
And you know, it was to see what it is today. It makes me appreciate it more because I remember when it wasn't so.
Right.
I remember when I was in college on college radio and I was getting ready to graduate, I sent out ear check tapes to a few stations across the USA. And I would say 90% of them said, yeah, they like the presentation, they like the music. I would mix the music, but they didn't like my accent.
Oh.
And if I need to be, there was one in Boston, #1 R&B station, Sonny Joe was the program director. I love that radio station. And when Sonny sent back to me, man, say he has a spot for me and everything, but me have to drop the accent.
Oh my
Hell
God.
no. I mean, if I'm understood,
yes,
that's all that matters.
That's all matters. And then there is an audience.
And there's an audience.
Understand that you want to tap into.
Yeah, and when I see it now, you know, they are taking our lingua and our little saying, it's a good feeling. Because I remember the day when it wasn't like that. I remember the day when I used to go to school, I used to be mocked. I remember the teacher called me up to the board one day and told me to write a sentence.
Yes.
And I wrote this sentence and then I put, well, in my time, I put a full stop at the end.
Yes.
And she knew what she was doing. She said to me, what's that? I'm going to say a full stop. She said, what's a full stop?
Period. You should
so
say
when I was coming...
It's a period.
I didn't know it then. And then when I was coming back now, few of the classmates, you go and started slap me in my head. Full stop my ass, that's a period. You country Jamaican, get back.
Oh my God.
And there was another thing I don't forget. Every Sunday I used to go to 125th Street in Harlem.
Yeah.
To listen to Louis Farrakhan.
Okay.
Because, you know, at that time, 17, 18, I was searching.
Yes.
I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses. I studied this, I studied that. So I started following the Islam. Yeah. And I remember one Sunday evening, the man started to pick on Jamaicans. And, my brother, what you're speaking is not my brother. What is that, my brother? That's not English, my brother. I was so ashamed. And I refused because back in those days, I just come off of the plane, so you start yank. They call it yank.
Yes.
You start to yank. And I refused to do that.
No, me too.
I refuse to yank. I am not into that. Well, I have an uncle, you can't tell if he's born in Jamaica or in Brooklyn. Me not do it, brethren.
Nigel and I had the same conversation, and I told him that, listen, when I came here, they were trying to groom me a kind of way for radio, like suit and tie.
Yes,
and,
yes.
You know, you should be speaking
the
Queen's English
and
so forth. And I'm saying, but you brought me here because you said that there is a need to capitalize on the Caribbean market.
Yes, yes.
I cannot reach the Caribbean market where you want me to reach them.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing I'm the kind of guy that is outspoken. So they say, all right, let's see if your way work. And sure enough, I just said, listen, all I need is $100 a week. Because I know my people, they love giveaways.
Yes.
If I am saying I'm giving away a dinner for two at City Island, or so the phone lines are going to go.
That's true, that's
and
true.
That's what I used to do.
And, you know, when I tell these stories to my children, they were like, really, Daddy? I said, yeah, there was a time they used to tell us to get back on the banana boat. You know, get back on the boat and go back to where you come from. There were times that they didn't even consider us blacks.
Because you came here
1973.
Man, we were that era was just about fading out.
It was
so
just fading out.
Hot.
Yes, it was still hot because
in some areas
my family before me, they tell you their stories in the 60s.
Makes you say, leave me in Jamaica.
Yeah, leave me. But you know, so when I see what's happening with reggae, this reggae, that, it's a good feeling because I remember it happened to me, but
Yes.
I also know that people like Gil Bailey and Ken Williams,
Yes.
and Jeff Barnes before me, Carl Anthony and those people,
Yes.
they got it worse.
Ken Williams was a very popular one too in New York.
Yes, yeah. He one of them that started it.
Yes.
He was at WLIB. But Gil Bailey really is the first,
Yes.
one of the first ones. And he didn't have a real gap of the English language.
Right.
So that kind of double up the negative comments.
Oh man.
He got it from American listeners
Yes.
and from Jamaica.
And from Jamaican.
Yeah, he got it
Wow.
both ways.
So you guys have definitely, honestly, paved the way for us, the new kids on the block.
Yes.
To walk on a pedestal. You
Yes,
guys have
yes.
taken all the abuse,
Yes.
the bruises and the bumps and the
Yes,
scars,
yes, yes.
so we can have this today.
Yes.
This is why it hurt when I see someone coming into broadcasting today and just taking this thing as a joke.
As a joke, yeah. It hurts me too.
It's more than
They're
just
more-
what you think it is. Like, it's a social media thing for you. It's
Right.
more than that. It's about reaching people in more ways than one.
Oh, I saw it back then and I still see it today. Love for country,
Yeah.
love for culture, and love for my people.
Hey. Hey.
My love for my
That speaks
country.
Reggae Month
yes,
for me.
Yes.
That's the signature. That's the slogan for Reggae Month.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Love for my country.
Love for my country.
Love for my culture.
Love for the country.
And love for my people.
And love for the people. That's Reggae Month.
Yeah.
That is Reggae Month. What a way to close this show, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see on our screen, there is a picture, a video of Now You Know. That's Mr. Lindsay in his home studio, by the way.
yeah. That's my
I
home
don't
studio.
remember what episode is that, but Tanto Metro.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. He walked up to me the morning I was going into the embassy.
Yes.
And he said that Peter Metro sent him.
Yes.
I said, okay. He wanted to get a visa. I said, okay, I would, but I'm going in now, and by the time you go home and get your passport, it will be too late. He said, no, man. And he just pull out his passport from his back pocket.
Is he ready?
He got it, So it has a lot of good stories. Now
A lot of
you
good
know.
episodes.
Yes,
So now we can find that on YouTube. Just look for Mr. Clinton Lindsay.
Official, Clinton Lindsay official. is the
Clinton
name
Lindsay
of it.
official. You know, I went and I subscribed to it.
Thank you very much.
Yes, man.
Clinton Lindsay official, and you'll get
all the episodes.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, before I left, I just want to let you know that Mr. Clinton Lindsay will shortly be a face of this network right here. Yes. Let me just crack that egg. Open right
Breaking
now, for real.
news.
Yes,
Yeah.
breaking news. So the man that is not too upfront, we're going to take a baby step
Yes.
up front. All right?
And like I said, I'm open up to learn. And learn from a pro like you and your staff here.
Oh, man, they make me look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You notice we just sit here.
Yes.
And then things just are
Right.
happening.
Right.
All right. They make me look good. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Reggae Month and, of course, Black History Month. And Mr. Lindsay couldn't have said it any better to close the show. It's love for the country, the culture, and the people. That's what Reggae Month means to me. You have a picture of Tanto Metro up too.
Oh, yeah, I was talking about him.
Yes.
He was 18 years old.
Whoa. Kid.
Yeah.
That's a kid. He told me he was discovered, because we're very close enough. He told me he was discovered by Peter Metro.
Peter Metro.
Yeah.
He was an apprentice of Peter Metro.
Yeah.
And when he came to me, I just gave him a visa. We've been friends ever since. He's like 50 now.
You see how artists look out for artists?
Yes, and that's what I was trying to say before.
You see?
Yeah.
Would not seen
Yeah,
that today. Would have loved for that. Why can't those things come full circle? Them say what goes around comes around. But that is taking so long to come back
You're not
around.
going to see it now because of the hype.
Yeah.
The money involved.
Oh, man.
Because, let's say it's in today's world. Peter
Yes.
wouldn't want Metro
Tonto.
to make no money.
Man, I tell you.
Money, the money kind of mess things up.
I was talking with Shabarangs a couple of years ago. Maybe the last time he came here for a concert. It was a solo concert. It was him and Tiger.
Okay.
And he told me it was Ninja Man who make him get the first big money. I mean, I said Ninja, because I know the rivalry was always between Shabba Ninja.
It was the managers them created that, not the artists them.
Oh.
It was
management.
managers, yeah,
So it's like the whole P. Diddy and Suge Knight thing, the management will create the beef between Biggie and Tupac, and the same thing with the dance. Man, I tell you, boy. He told me Ninja Man sent him to a producer that was voicing a song at the time. He just voiced to the producer.
Bobby Digital, most likely.
Probably. And him send him to the producer for voice. And said, tell him, say, me send him.
Yeah, man.
And Shabba went, did the thing, and him see him a couple of days after, and Shabba said, Ninja said to me, say, oh, the man deal with you? And I say, yeah, him give me one $500. $500. Come with me, you go around there. You forget more than that. And him carry him back around there and make sure him get more. I mean, say, look how artists, look out for artists that in those days. We're not seeing that today. It's a cut-short job.
Yeah, and it's more competitive now.
Yes, than it was then. Because it was competitive then, too, you know.
Because we didn't have all these factors. You know, like I said, you break an artist by having a cassette.
Yes.
Every artist has to have a song.
Right.
You remember
align with a song.
So
yes,
yeah, you can't break in the bit. No, you can't just go in make a dub plate, go in
your room, go on your cell phone, on WhatsApp, buy something.
Exactly.
And send up. Okay.
And the kind of money that they are seeing today.
Yes. It's different from what those
guys
used to
that are still weak when you think about it. But
yes.
In terms of the number, a man I get $500,000 to do Sting. In
yes.
those days, if you get 5,000, you're lucky.
In those days?
Yes. Because when I brought Barrister Man for the first time, first show, December 28, 1985, I paid Barrister Man $5,000.
That was years ago, you know.
Today,
them time the $5,000 was nice.
It was nice. Today, Barrister get 180, almost 200,000.
Like, I'm going to talk about US.
Yeah, yes. I paid Barrister 5,000. I was offering the same thing to Tenasa, but Tenasa said he wanted, for him, it wasn't about the money. It was about, he wanted to be the star of the show.
Oh.
And there's no way I'm going to put him ahead of Barry Sanders. And he decided not to come.
You say make a judgment call, a business call.
Yes. I mean, what happened, you know, before I do any show, I'll ask the audience who they want to see next.
Yeah.
That's why I never really lose from a show, because the people...
You're such a clever guy. Hey, listen, I'm telling you, psychologist throughout the world.
I asked them, okay, we finished TC, you know, who you want to see next? And I said, oh no, I want to see this. So when I bring these artists, I'm sure
the demand is already there.
Exactly. So what I noticed with Barry Salmon and Tenasa, all the women they want Barry's.
Yes.
And all the rude boy they want Tenasa. So I said, that's two shows at the Beacon right there. Because the rude boy they more come out for Tenasa.
Yes.
And the woman they more come for Barry's.
Wow.
And that's how I look at it. Yeah, it's a business, and I try to be as humane as possible, but it's still a business. And I was dealing with it on a buddy system.
Yeah.
Unlike my counterpart, like Russell Simmons.
Yes.
Nobody came through his door without a contract.
Okay, so they have to have a contract.
With me, you come do a thing, and if things work out. So I was more of a buddy sort of thing.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, he's worth 150 million. And me know have nothing today, but you know, me have life and the love of the artist and the
listen,
industry.
your wealth is in watching the success of those persons you have helped.
And I love to see that.
Yes.
I love to see
I
that.
told her yesterday that when a friend of mine who was a classmate, and she started out here with me, and she got called to CNN, the Spanish version of CNN. I felt like I was the one that got called.
Yeah. You
so I feel that joy,
yes,
you know.
It's true. It is
so
true.
I'm just saying, maybe that's the same feeling that you have.
I do.
Look, the amount, the names that you call, you know, the success that those guys have today, you know. I don't see an artist from the late 90s coming up to now that could ever reach the level of
what those guys
that they have. They have a legacy.
That is true. That is true. When you think about Supercat, you know, Supercat story is one of the most inspirational. It was Early B who pressured me in bringing in Supercat. because he was an apprentice for Early B.
Early B.
And I brought up Early B when he had the big hit, One Wheel.
One Wheel Wheelie.
And every minute I Early B in my ears, yeah, boss, me have a look at youth, you know, and whatever. And, you know, we were coming from Washington one Sunday morning. And in the bus, I always sit and talk with the bus driver because all the artists them in the back sleeping.
Yeah.
And me, you know, want engage the driver so him no fall asleep.
Yes.
So me I talk and me hear a voice in the back. Boss, you asleep? I said, no, who that? He said, me man, Doc. So I said, come now.
That's Early B.
Yeah, and he came, this is the bus driver, that's me, and he came right here.
Yeah.
And he asked me if, you know, if I thought about the the proposal. Cause I tried to brush him off. Yeah man, I'll think about it. And then he said to me, is it money? I said no. He said why? He said, why I'm willing to give up his salary.
What?
Yes. He's willing to give up his salary to cover the cost
to get
Supercat.
What a
and
story.
I'm like, hold on.
Early B.
Yeah. Early B was getting like $1,500 because them have the big tune, $1,000, $1,500. I said, it means this much to you? I said, boss, you know how much this youth mean to me. I said, you're willing to forfeit your salary? Yeah, and he said, yeah. And I said to myself, all right, I think, no, me really don't think about it.
Yes.
And then I came back like day or two later and he came again. And I said, you know what, Doc? Keep your money. Because I cannot allow you to come to America for the first time.
Yeah.
Don't get a salary because, you know, you want to buy stuff for your family and go home. And,
right.
But I'll do it. I will work out something in the future. And that's all.
Supercat came to America.
Yes. Never have a hit song, nothing. But what I used to do whenever I sent out Early B,
yes,
I would just let him go with Early B. And I never charged the promoters because he was still in training.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm sending out Early B, let's say if I'm sending Early B to Chicago, the promoter said, no, I don't want you because I still have to go get plane fare and hotel. And so most of the dates I would get for him would be in New York, where he can drive. I sent them to Washington one time, and I don't know what kind of disrespect that was given to him. But when Cat came back, Cat said to me, boss, so when me leave here, I don't want you bring me back to me have a hit tune. I said, what happened? I said, you see, you know, the BC boy there at Washington, disrespect on him. I said, oh, sorry. Because, you know, they used to call him Coolie Boy, and him can't ride rhythm. And I said, oh, you see when me come back, my boss, more you charge them why they know. I said, okay, buddy. But I noticed when he, you know, every time, if him don't make a money, I would give him $100 or $200. Because really, I don't think it's nice for him to come.
Yes.
Even though him now
work as much.
We still want him all that money.
Yes.
And they keep buying these big, you remember them big reel-to-reel tape?
I know them.
Yes.
That's what they use back in the studio in Jamaica. Yeah.
And buy about 2 of them and carry them. Because they could sell them and use them. And about 8 months later, him called me. Saying some tune for Winston Riley.
Okay, yeah, so, techniques.
Yeah, techniques. So I say, hey, but he want me call Riley because there's a tune on it that, you know, like the tune and he want Riley to erase it. So I say, erase it? He said, yeah, call Riley, man, and tell him to erase the tune. So I call Riley. I say, Winston, where I say? I say, where I say, Mr. Lindsay? I say, can I do some tune for you? I say, yeah, man. I say, boy, I have a tune there, just wait for the pressing plants. There were 3 at the time in Jamaica.
Yeah, Dynamics had one.
And Tough Gang had one, and there's another one.
Yeah.
And he said that...
Beverly?
Was it Beverly? There was another one.
Yeah.
And he said that he's waiting because them have work right now.
Oh,
but when them finish, him have the biggest tune that him will have in a while. The biggest tune that come. And I said, where tune name? He said, Books.
Say Books there.
So I said, that's what I call you about. Why you erase it? He said, Clinton, you mad? I said, Cat no want it. Cat say him no like it. He said, then when do it for? I said, he wanted to release Cry for the Youths.
Oh, yeah, because techniques, those two came out on the techniques.
I say, you know what, Clinton? I'll put Cry for the Youth on the flip side, I think, on the 12-inch or whatever.
Yeah.
That's all Cry for the Youth as a compensation.
But you know, Boops was the hit song though.
Yes! Yes! Riley was like, what are you, crazy? I'm gonna say, that's what I say too. You know, why do a song and,
Yes.
you know, like it now and want the man to erase it? And we said, no. Cat hated the song. When the tune busted out, Cat and Nicodemus fly Ghana, England.
Wow.
They left Jamaica because Cat didn't want to face that song. Cat did not like Boops. So he go on in there England for about 4 months.
Yeah.
And eventually my Nicodemus came back to Jamaica. So Ivan called me and said, listen to this. And when me listen, it was Cat just coming back from Jamaica, coming from England, and the man Barry G on the radio. And Barry G was like, Super Cat, are you telling me that you don't know nothing about a show in New York? Yeah, yo, Barry G, me just come back from England, you know, me don't know about no show, you know, and if me I go to New York, and one man can come go to New York, a Clinton LINDSAY. So I say, Stephen say, you know what a show? Yes, I hear the commercial, you know. They might run a show, I come to Brooklyn, and I say, oh, Clean, how could
you
do this to me?
Show? Oh, you never know about it?
No, but me hear it on the radio. And I said, boy, I can't believe Cat do a thing like this to me. But at the end of the day, it was just fake.
One of them scam there.
Scam there.
Yes.
No Cat. Because when Cat said, yo, Barry G, me I tell you, one man can come go to New York and a Clinton LINDSAY. And when I heard that, I felt better. So that show didn't go off, and then I brought him in eventually.
Wow.
But he wanted to erase Boops.
That song that bring him
yes.
to the forefront. And look, he becomes an international star now.
Yes,
he got signed.
Yeah, man.
And to think
was
Early
B
was the one that was in your ears.
Early B said to me, if he asked me if it's money and why.
I'm willing to give up his salary. I hope that him give Early B that respect, man.
Yeah, he did. The only man that can talk to Cat was Early B.
I'm telling you why.
Yeah, man, Early B. He said, he means that much to you? He said, why you know? Because he was living a life that Early B thought
he would have gone down the wrong road.
Yes. He was going down the wrong road. And Early B thought that if he's come here and get a taste of foreign to see,
it will change his perspective of the way he's living there.
And exactly what happened. So he came, but a lot of disrespect. I remember a sound man, which I won't call his name, that said to me, when I said to him, you know me, I send Cat with Early B, man said, no, I am not, even for free, me no want him on it. Them coolie boy, I don't want a coolie boy. That's what man said to me, you know. I said, damn. I never told Cat those things then.
Yeah.
I'm talking now. And him going Washington and got disrespected. I don't know what happened, him not talk, but him just say, oh, this when me come back?
Yeah.
And that was it.
Man, come back, come get a record deal.
Yeah, I was right there with them.
Wow. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, never forget, as I said before and I'll say again, it's all about the love of the music, that's the culture, the people, and of course, the country.
Yes. Those are my three, what I use to remind myself why I'm doing what I do.
Why you do what you do.
You know, I don't go for the fame and the money and all of that. I remember I'm looking out for my country.
Yes.
I love my culture, trust me.
Oh.
And I love the music.
And you stood up for it.
Yes.
From the day your career started.
Yeah,
till
to this
now.
day.
I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you, Mr. LINDSAY.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you being here, sharing this wealth of knowledge with us. And I tell you that it's knowledge like this that I like. It's reasoning like this that I like to sit and have. And when I walk away a whole different person from this table because I learned something. And if it's even mean to be very much humbled when it comes on to, you know, you just never know who you're dealing with. And the fact that even you look at Early B and said, let's keep your money, man. Because you are for people. You know, you're saying that you know, Mr. Say, yeah, buy up your things to carry, go back home and
Yeah,
thing.
man. The first
We work
trip,
something out.
We
pan-
work something out.
Yeah.
You know, we work something out because it wasn't. It didn't set well with me.
Yeah.
To take his money and
him just come and not work for
and I go home empty-handed. Because then people gonna say things.
Yes.
Because
true.
when other man see him come home and have nothing, they must say, "Ooh, you go to the thieving promoter, foreign, blah blah blah."
Yeah, nobody knows the behind the scenes story.
Scene. And he and I became. I saw Early B the Friday evening before he got killed. You know, I saw him. He was on White Plains Road at a mechanic shop, gearing up his car, tuning it up for the trip to Boston.
Yeah.
And I saw him and him, yo, boss! And I stopped and I went over to him and he said, he's going to Boston. And I should come to Boston and chill out with the missus. So, he said, yeah, the missus come chill, man. I said, you know, Early B, it's a good idea, you know, but I wish you had told me this before.
Yeah, so you could have planned it.
Could I plan it? Because here we are Friday evening, I have plans now. I said, well, listen, and I thought it was a good idea to just get out of New York, go to Boston and chill. So I told him next time. He said, all right. And then so that was the Friday evening. By 1 o'clock the Sunday afternoon, I got a call from X News. And they told me that they heard that there was a shooting in Boston. And they believe Early B is involved. I said, no, man, I don't hear nothing yet. So they gave me the telephone number of the precinct up there, and I called. And the front desk told me, yes, there was a shooting, and one person died, but he can't give me any more information. But the detective that working on it should be back Monday morning by 7. And then when I called, because I was still writing for X News, when I called the morning, bright and early, 7 o'clock, I asked for the guy. They gave me his name the day before, and I asked for him and told him I'm a journalist writing for a Jamaican paper. What can you tell me about what happened, you know, Saturday night? He said, yeah, there was a shooting at a West Indian club. By the time he got there was no witnesses. And I said, you know who got shot? And he gave me the name, Orlando Neal. I said, he said, yeah, that's the guy. I said, so is he okay? He said, no, he passed. Oh my Lord.
Early B.
Early B. So I had to write, the story to send down to X News.
Yeah.
Confirm that he but from what I was told by other people that were there, some people say he was going on stage, and when they call his name, you know, somebody fire a shot in a form of gun salute.
Gun salute.
He went up into the roof, ricochet, and he was coming and walking up on stage, and the bullet
right into it.
Walk right into it.
Several times I see that happening even here in indoor. I don't know who have that great idea.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. You
it goes up, you gotta come down.
You can't gun salute in a closed area.
Yeah, that's what happened, and that's how he died. So
and that's one of the reasons why we see a lot of artists lose their permits now too, their work permits, because of the kind of gun salute that's going on at the event that they're performing. So, like, I remember Bounty Killer is known for that in Jamaica.
Oh gosh.
And it's not it's no problem in Jamaica because most of our events they're outdoor and so forth. In Jamaica they're now clamping down on that. That's no more anymore.
Yeah, no more.
Here, those same guys bring that same principle here, and it's not so. I have seen a chaos one time by a soccer tournament, and as Bounty Killer step on stage, I don't know how so much gun is in this venue, but when one go off over this, so 20 go off over this. But these American people don't understand the culture. So they panic and start running. And then the stampede, me say a woman a throw her baby over the fence, I catch him.
Oh my Lord.
And I'm like, and the police, I tell people, come this way, come. And I'm like, look at my people, man.
Yeah. And this is why I said earlier that they have respect for the other side.
Yes.
More than their own.
Than their own.
You know,
because they wouldn't go to certain venue and do that. I have seen best of the best kept many years, and I've never heard of any incident of that nature.
Yeah, that's true.
At that signature.
And especially it's downtown, because you have to come up.
Yeah, oh, you have to. Yeah, one way.
You have to come up, you know, you gotta come up. So
you don't play that games with certain promoters and certain venues. But
my brother, I've seen
come
so
a long
much,
way.
and I've experienced so much of it. It just, sometimes I try not to think of them because it sounds like talking about Early B now.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. I don't. With Early B, we got so close.
Yeah.
He was a principled man. You know, he was someone. He was the only person that can talk to Supercat.
Yeah.
He's the only person that Supercat respect, because that's Early B. That's his teacher.
Yeah, and he would tell you. You can hear that in his song too, you know, I have to give respect to Early B.
Yeah, because, you know, and he and I have had our differences. And the only person.
Supercat or Early B?
Supercat.
Supercat, okay.
Because a lot of his behavior, I said, my youth, you know, keep quiet, don't do that, don't say that, blah, blah, blah. But when that time comes, it's always Early B that will come between. And if Early B tells him not to do something, he's not going to do it.
Father and son.
Yeah, and if Early B tell him to do something, he will do it.
True father and son relation.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Mr. Lindsay, thank you so very much, my brother.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And there's so many things that has been said today that we're going to speak it in the air and speak it to being. Hopefully we can look into revamp such an exclusive and exquisite and of course an award show that definitely. You
have your mind on the Jamaica Awards,
don't you? Look forward to coming out too.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I have seen award show, but there's no award show like the Jamaica Award show.
They have said that talk to Richie Stevens right now, and Richie would ask you, tell you to talk to me.
Yes.
Talk to him, Flex, because me I talked to him for years, and you know.
They get it back.
Yeah, get it back.
It's a legacy.
I'll get it back on
it's
condition.
A legacy. It's a legacy.
On condition.
Yes.
I won't say I will not.
Yes.
But
on
on
certain conditions.
Yes.
Right. Respectfully so.
All right, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks, Mr. Lindsay, for being my guest today. I want to thank you all for sharing the link. Thank everyone in the chat room. There are a lot of chatting going on in the room, but we can get to all of the chattings if we want to get out the history of Mr. Clinton Lindsay. But thank you guys so very much for the conversation in the chat room. Thank you so very much for sharing. If you have shared, whatever platform you have been watching this program from, I appreciate it. And remember, when we're off here on the social media platform, we're going over to flexfm.online where we stream live 24/7, and there we'll be having a program that highlights Reggae Month / Black History Month, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so stay with us. Another interesting program coming up next. Thank you guys so very much behind the scene. I love you guys. Until such time, Mr. Lindsay, art of love.
Respect.
We went into the embassy. I have him at the end, at the back, and the artists that I was taking, they went up, did their interview and got their blue tickets, and everything was fine. So he was left now. So I said to the officer, I said, officer, by the way, I have this young man that I want to give him a trip to New York, and he's not on the petition, but I would love to give him a trip. The officer said, well, he can't work. I said, officer, I know the rules. He can't do no working. He's not on the petition, but I just want him to come, see what America is like. And the officer said, okay, where is he? And he came up, gave the officer the book. The officer, no. Book. Gave him back his blue ticket. And kind of warned me and him that, make sure you don't work, that's a violation, or you get I'm saying, I know. Now, you're talking about getting a visa for someone who I met less than an hour. Less than an hour. The first of the artists that were on the petition walked out and left me and Tonto Metro in there talking. When we came out with the blue ticket, and just about him, and the rest thought that was the greatest thing. They saw when he came to me and tapped me, are you Clinton Lindsay? And, it was a last minute thing. I never had a ticket for him. Remember, I just met the man less than an hour ago. Didn't have a place for him to stay. So I said, listen, the artists were leaving like 2 days later. So he had to leave with me. So I called my travel agent and I said, listen, I need an extra ticket for Mark Wolf, and I called my cousin Chris in Brooklyn. I didn't have a place for him because I remembered it wasn't planned. I asked Chris, I said, Chris, I have this guy named Tonto Metro, Peter Metro Printer, apprentice. I knew that Chris had, not that he has space at his place, but he had like those big sofas. He had a big sofa in his living room. And, I asked Chris if Tonto Metro could come and stay in Brooklyn and stay with him. And Chris said, well, as long as he knows, well, him not have a problem sleeping in a sofa. So I said, okay. So now we have, I got him a ticket and I got him a place in Brooklyn. I'm from the Bronx, but hey, under the circumstance, get a place for him to stay in Brooklyn. So that's how we came up on the B visa, stayed in Brooklyn with my cousin Chris for about 3 weeks. So he returned to Jamaica mid-December. There was one time, I know I had a dance on Eastern Parkway while he was there, because by that time it had gotten cold. And I believe it's either Chris gave him a jacket or I bought him one. I'm not sure, but he didn't have one, so we had to provide one for him. Either I bought it for him or Chris gave him one that Chris already had. And I remember there was a dance on Eastern Parkway. I have him come into the dance, and I told him, you're not gonna work, but you just gotta touch the mic and yell up the people and let them know you're here, blah, 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 blah. Because, he couldn't work. But to take the mic and introduce himself and say, I'm Tonto Metro and, blah, 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 that's not gonna be considered work. And we, at that point, we couldn't violate the visa. And he did that. And, he got a little 100 here, and, I believe he had relatives in New York. But I know that he stayed for 3 weeks. Tonto Metro, now one of the biggest dancehall artists with his partner, Evante, got his wing.